He intentionally pulls down his pants. Then he pulls up his underwear.
Tucks his shirt into his boxers.
Oh.
That's weird.
I was like, somebody tackle him before he walks outside. Welcome back to Bad Movies Rule, the worst movie podcast ever recorded. Did you know there's no way you can kill someone with a computer unless there's a ghost in the machine?
Oh. I feel like I could pick up a computer and bludgeon someone to death with it. No problem.
Well, yes. There's infinite ways someone could kill someone with a computer.
Oh.
Not a very smart statement by the person in the movie.
You did the thing.
What
The
thing?
ghost in the machine.
They didn't do the thing, though.
I know. I was waiting.
Oh,
yeah. They
So
didn't
many
do the thing
chances.
the whole time. Not even once did they do the thing.
This seemed like a movie ripe for saying the title of the movie in the movie.
Like 6 times.
Right, but it didn't happen. But so I had to do it right in the intro just to get it out of the way. There was an itch that wasn't scratched, and I had to scratch it as fast as possible.
Do you feel better?
I do feel better. How are you this evening? A rare night recording for us today.
Ah, yes. I'm wonderful.
Ryan Farrell in the house.
It's been a wonderful day, wonderful weekend.
Good.
And I'm so pumped
Are
to
you?
talk about this
Oh,
film.
great. First time back since the last episode. Perfect. I hope you had a good time on Nothing But Trouble.
Wait, Remo
Williams.
yes.
Okay. You weren't on Nothing But Trouble?
No.
Were you on Firebirds?
No, but I would have been.
You would have been.
Had it been
Firebirds was
more
so
conducive
good.
to
Yeah.
my schedule. But, you know.
Or if we had a
I gotcha.
kids table.
Yeah.
Joining us also for the first time since Firebirds is Ryan Mattila.
Howdy.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm excited.
I'm good.
I'm just ready.
I'm glad. I said I'm
You're
good, but I
good?
meant I'm glad that
I'm
you're
glad
excited.
you're good, but
I'm good and you're glad and you're
didn't
excited.
ask.
It's okay. I felt the rumbling, the building rumbling a little bit here because we got 2 out of the 3 Ryans in the house. It's close.
It's like,
to the Ryan
should we have some type of extra security, or should we have somebody come and sweep the room real quick?
Something.
wait, so have you been with Ryan Mueller before?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
biblically.
Not in that sense.
I haven't
Okay, so this is your
been
first
in a
time.
podcast with Mueller, but we did.
Yeah.
So I'm the
Equilibrium.
only.
Oh, that's right, Equilibrium.
So
That's
I'm
right.
like the conduit.
You're the
my
conduit
only
between the 2.
All right.
Ryan.
Oh, wow.
I'm the link.
And if you haven't told by now, Clint Bush is also here joining us today. Clint, how are you, sir?
Fantabulous.
Awesome, man. You guys ready to talk about Ghost in the Machine?
Yes.
The 1993
Masterpiece?
horror
Cin-
question mark thriller
Comedy?
comedy.
the horror comedy masterpiece from 1993.
Okay, sure.
The last film of 1993.
Oh, was this released like on December 30th or
Like
something?
legit released on December 29th of 1993.
And
Somebody else snuck one in there.
It's too bad because 1994 is famously like a murderer's row of great movies.
I mean, 1993 is a phenomenal year as well.
Well,
Yeah.
ended on a sour note. Well, I shouldn't say that because there's things I like. I don't want to like show my hand too early here. How about we?
James's favorite movie, everybody.
Yeah, you know,
Hand-tipped.
in ways it was. In ways, actually, it was my favorite, and in ways, I hated it. So I
think
can't wait to split those hairs.
I think we're
Yep.
skewed to the positive a little bit, just
Okay.
because we all watched it together.
Well, not all of us.
Well, yeah.
Someone didn't get the invite.
important people.
I got you.
I mean, I just
we
couldn't
had
make it.
we had one Ryan. Having one Ryan is just as good as having them all.
That's true. That's true. Let's talk about the vitals, guys. Let's get the particulars out of the way so everybody knows what we're dealing with. Let's throw this body down here on the autopsy table and get our knives out. Let's go.
Or perhaps we should give it an MRI.
Oh, we should. Or yeah, we'll scan its cat.
Yeah.
The movie was directed, and this is actually the way we came across this movie. It was directed by Rachel Talalay, who you may recognize as the name that we last spoke on the Tank Girl episode because she directed Tank Girl. And I remember going through her filmography at the time we were doing Tank Girl and going, what else has this person ever directed, if anything?
Yeah.
And that's how I found this.
Was this before or after Tank Girl?
This was before. This is 93. I think Tank Girl was 96.
95.
5, something
That
like
checks
that.
out.
Yeah.
I think after Tank Girl, they should have just.
I think that was the last thing she.
for license.
Yeah, I think they did. They took her director's card,
Yeah.
not her literal one, but yeah,
However,
movie jail.
she has directed TV for 20 years.
Oh yeah, there's been lots of directors that have come through on our show finished out their career doing tons of TV, but it was the last movie they ever directed.
Yeah. She did Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, Ghost in the Machine, Tank Girl, and then after that it was relegated to like episodes of Kyle XY and stuff like that.
Yeah, poor girl.
Yeah. But she was also the first British. Wait, she's American because she's from Chicago.
Yep.
She's the first American female to direct a Doctor Who story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and see which episode she directed. I'm sure it was one of my least favorites.
She also produced The Borrowers. Someone brought The Borrowers up.
I've never.
Oh, that's great. I think I read about that in Who Gives a Crap magazine. All right, this movie was written by, you also recognize these names, Will Davies and William Osborne, the writing duo behind Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's recent.
that's very recent.
I think it's
Well,
too
it's-
soon.
We have
It's
all these
recent to us.
BMR past episodes colliding here.
I think this is going to end up happening more and more and more as we record this genre. And our entire thing is a genre of crap.
Yeah, we
Some
catalog
of it's
garbage.
fantastic.
That's what I've been saying.
Some of it is absolutely fantastic.
For sure. The movie starred Karen Allen, Chris Mulkey, who was last on our show with Broken Arrow. He made an appearance in. And Will Horniff, who you would know from Sandlot. And maybe my favorite bad movie of all time, which we haven't done yet, Born to be Wild. I don't know. Did you ever see Born to be Wild, 1994?
No, I did not.
95 maybe?
Yeah, it's...
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It stars the kid that plays Josh and a fake gorilla. And John C. McGinley is also in the movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty awful, and I love it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's on the list.
Was that a staple of your...
Bob watched it to the point where it wore out.
Oh,
so
Bob did.
Then I therefore saw it a lot myself.
So it wasn't part of your formative film years? No.
I was already a teenager, but I actually enjoyed it. I think because John C. McGinley's in it, so it has to be
you
good.
can't, exactly. You can't go wrong with him.
The budget of Ghost in the Machine was $12 million. Certainly a respectable amount of money, not $40 million or whatever it was
Right.
that the last piece of garbage cost to make. And the box office was only $5 million.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had worse. We've done worse.
No, for sure, but it's not going to get it done. We've personally done worse, and we've had worse on the show.
No.
Yes, our movies didn't make anywhere near $5 million.
Well, it's actually
Right, but when you talk about cost to produce versus, we didn't lose nearly as much.
That's true.
yeah, it's actually pretty impressive seeing that they actually had like a lot of animated stuff in it.
Oh, for
And
sure.
A lot of like I guess if you call that CGI, seemed like a lot of
Sure.
I think technically you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't do it with a etch a sketch.
It was computer generated.
Right.
You know,
Maybe.
they had a lot of like the stereoscopic shots though too,
Yep.
with like
Yeah.
the really like the camera following the wire circuit through this and that. A lot of optical tricks.
Fun stuff.
Yeah,
Movie currently sits at a 4.6 on IMDb.
Sounds high.
4.6.
Yeah,
Man,
it's pretty low. I mean, we usually live in the fives, but we've had a few sub 5
sub
movies.
vibes. Yeah.
This is right in the mid fours. It's an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yep.
those both seem a little low to me
Really?
personally, but
Okay. And a 23% audience score. So even 3 out of 4 people say, no, this is bad. So it definitely qualifies for our show. The critics, the people,
1, 2, 3.
the box office public, the paying public, when this came out, they all kind of voted and said,
Yeah.
nah, I'm good, fam.
No, this is a hard check of all 3 boxes for BMR.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think,
Critics, audience, money.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Let's
it.
talk about that.
But before we get into that, I just want to say to you guys and gals that are, let me start that over. But before we get started, let me just say to everybody that's out there listening right now, we've got some exciting news coming down the pipe here. I want you guys to do me a favor and go check out our brand new website, badmoviesrule.com. That's right. Our website is now live. You guys can go there. There's a specific place to suggest movies. You can listen to episodes straight on the site. You could sign up for our brand new newsletter, our email letter. And so, in fact, we're going to pick 5 people from random out of the first 100 people who sign up for the newsletter to get a piece of swag that is not available anywhere. So it's BMR swag, but you cannot buy it online in any of our merch or where our merch is available.
Wow.
So it's not this.
It's not the t-shirt that Ryan is wearing right now. It is, in fact, a wearable piece of merch, but not available in stores.
We should have got this newsletter is trash.
Well, that's probably what we'll name it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's going to be sent. It's not going to be sent from an email address.
Oh. Perfect.
It's an email that goes to them. This isn't a new email address. Yes, this is a newsletter that goes to their email.
We're sending you trash.
We're sending you garbage.
This is going to be awesome. We can send them hate mail.
Please receive our garbage.
Oh,
We can send out hate mail from Bob.
From Bob. Bob can send the fans hate mail.
This is true.
Oh my God.
So sign up to get berated by Bob.
I mean, you know, I call him once a day, so that's my life.
It's free, and you might win some free swag. So,
I'm excited.
For it. I'm excited.
James.
Yes.
Goosebumps. Really. Goosebumps.
Just at the thought of
I'm looking, you're lying.
Bob hurting you.
No, of all this that you're talking about.
It's great stuff.
I can't even imagine. Like, this is crazy that this is happening.
Also, the other ways that you can interact with the show or support the show is via our Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/badmoviesrule, patreon.com/badmoviesrule. There's different tiers. For as low as $3, you can get on there and you can get access to bonus episodes. At higher tiers, you can vote on upcoming episodes, get behind the scenes footage, all kinds of stuff, and even submit awards to be read on the show. And again, that's patreon.com/badmoviesrule. We'd love to have you be part of it.
Absolutely. Only $3 a month.
That's right. You guys ready to dive in? Just to give you guys an idea of the synopsis, just so you know kind of what's going on. I'm just going to assume and go out on a ledge here and say most of the people listening have not seen this movie because, well, no one went and saw it. But it's basically Karen Allen is the star, who we know from Indiana Jones and
The Sandlot.
The Sandlot.
As the mom.
That's right. Also with Bill Murray in Scrooged.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's a single mother. She's raising this 13-year-old kid who is kind of a D-bag, and there's a killer on the loose. And that's kind of the movie, right? I mean, that's the synopsis of the movie.
That is a perfect opening.
Yes.
So basically, the kid, though, is also from The Sandlot.
Yeah, and so is his friend.
And he's friends with another kid from The Sandlot.
Yeah.
Which also came out in 1993.
That's right. I think they just
rated
it was like pulled up in a car to the Sandlot set, and there's a you, and you get in the car.
It was something.
Hey, and y'all want to do another movie?
It was like 20th Century, because it's a 20th Century Fox film.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, well, who do we got? Who's still around? And they were like, go get them real quick.
They haven't left the set yet.
They haven't left Sandlot yet. Go get them.
Who did the last movie way cheaper than everyone else on it?
Who were the 3 cheapest people?
Right.
Tell me we want to talk to them. They shuttled them right over here. So there's this killer on the loose. He's high on pixie sticks.
That was a nice touch.
That was good.
Did you? Because what was the point of that? I wondered.
No point. It was just a nice touch.
Sugar makes you kill people.
No, there's no point. It's just an idiosyncratic thing for a serial killer to do.
It's not enough that he's a maniac. He's also geeked out of his mind on pixie sticks.
I'm just going to say that if you want to enjoy a pixie stick before you murder a family.
I think that could be some of it. It's like, hey, you've all enjoyed pixie sticks before.
Yes.
And this guy does too.
It's just a
Go buy some pixie
strategy.
Yeah, it was just marketing.
Pixie sticks
This is good for anybody, even serial killers. They didn't want to miss out on the serial killer market. They figured not enough.
I love that they didn't show what it was, but everybody knew exactly what it was.
Exactly.
Right away.
Immediately. And it's like they couldn't get involved. They couldn't get the product placement for Sandlot. So they're like, hey, we're doing this other movie.
Yeah.
We can get you in that one. Pixie stick can be in that one.
Mm-hmm. Pixie stick just forked over the cash. And then they saw it and was like, oh.
Nope. Black that out.
Nope. Yeah. Can you color that out with a silhouette, please?
And this whole movie, guys, this is another important thing to realize. This whole movie revolves around an address book.
Yeah.
And so, children, those of you who were not alive before, an address book was a organizational tool used the world over where people would actually write down phone numbers and names and addresses on paper and carry it around with them.
Yes.
Right.
This is an archaic thing, but you need to understand what it is to know what's happening.
So it's like desktop software.
Exactly. It's desktop hardware.
It's almost as obsolete as that.
It's pocket hardware. Well, in this case, it wasn't fitting in anybody's pocket, but yeah. Did you guys ever have an address book like that?
No, we had the one with the little tab that you slid, and it had the A, B, C, D, and you just slid it to the one, open it up.
Yeah.
You never had the monster one?
Lauren has my wife has a monster
still
address book. Yes.
In 2022?
Yes.
Wow. What is she doing? Is she aware that
ready for the sequel?
Is she aware that the internet and the cloud and laptops and phones exist?
Oh yeah. She just I don't know.
She's just hanging on.
Maybe she just saw Ghost in the Machine as a child and was like, nah, I'm not updating to all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, that's fair.
Skipping the computers.
Nope, not doing
I
the
haven't
computers.
tried smelling it yet, though.
Okay.
So
Well, that's good.
Stay
That's
tuned.
Good.
That's later.
All right. Well, tonight when you get home,
So this dude is parked outside of this family's house. He murders the entire family. Would you call him the messiest serial killer of all time?
The least organized. I mean, like they didn't know in '93 that forensics was a thing yet.
No, what's
I don't
that?
think there was any TV shows that were really out yet showing how like
Right?
NCIS,
Yeah.
CSI, stuff like that.
DNA?
Yeah.
What's that?
yeah.
my notes literally say messiest serial killer ever.
Yeah.
So, yes.
He even goes into his trunk and he's like, everything's covered in blood. He's like, forget, forensics or anything.
Yeah.
He's just like blood spattered photos, blood spattered everything, pasting it in his photo book.
And it raindrops on it and stuff. Like he's like, I'm going to keep these keepsakes forever for me to remember, but I'm not going to take care of them at all.
He also never saw Home Alone because now it's like the Wet Bandits, right? Now they're going to know every person you killed.
Right.
He put it in a book. Genius.
Right. My takeaway from it though was that family left their dinner table a mess.
They did.
Every fork was in
A
the
food
plate.
item.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you're like,
that seemed to really bother you. Why?
They
Because
didn't finish
you
their
don't-
meal.
You don't get up from the table and stick the fork into the food. You set it next to it. Even if it's in a rush, like you're going to set the fork down. It's not going to look like that.
So you banged the table and you said, I'm out.
I
the
said,
forks are on the plates.
that's it. This is unbelievable for a movie. I just hit the microphone. No, this is an unbelievable movie right now. I don't believe anything after that.
All right.
Yeah, I was.
That's where I draw the line.
Yep. Yep.
I drew the line at the fact that he had a Barracuda that was apparently reliable and ran.
You're like, what is this
Like,
horse
what?
crap?
This is not right at all.
Yeah, and also, okay, so right after this, we meet Josh. He's the kid from The Sandlot. Okay.
Yeah.
The
whole time.
Will Horniff.
I just wanted to
He
say,
sucks.
shut your mouth, Phillips.
I know, right? In this movie, he starts off, he's literally the guy from Airplane, right? He's like, you ever hang around a gymnasium? I mean, that's literally what this kid is doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's just, there's these grown dudes playing basketball, and he's just like, that one.
Yeah, that's
I'm going
my
to
mark.
sit on his towel and I'm going to milk this guy for some money. How much thought went into this scam, this lottery scam that these two were doing? Imagine using your powers for good, what these two kids could have accomplished.
I've got some friends, some older acquaintances in my life that put so much energy into scamming the system to try and live a life that was easy. It's like, you guys could just go get a job and be done in 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put 12 hours into the scam. You could have gotten that for 8.
$50, you could have probably mowed 10 lawns back then and come up with $50.
Honestly.
Well, it did seem really elaborate
Right, exactly.
for $50 because he has to split it.
Yeah,
Right.
so you guys know what happened. He basically, grabs this guy out of a basketball game, tells him that I have this winning lottery ticket. I'm a kid. I'm a minor. I can't cash it in.
My mom's dead.
My mom is dead. Cash in this, give me half for it, and you can go cash it in. Win-win.
Yeah.
And he even has his friend, also from The Sandlot, on the other phone with the Scream voice changer. Okay,
The keyboard voice
keyboard.
changer. The Casio voice
Yes.
changer.
sounding like a receptionist or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And right as he's about to get the money from this guy,
Both
mom
hands
pulls
on
up,
the money.
ruins everything.
Like, this is really going to make it feel like I'm pulling my own weight. Oh, hey, Mom. Like, why would you say Mom? Oh, it's my aunt. Whatever.
Yeah, right. She's not going to say anything.
I can salvage this.
Yeah.
You would think so. But
No way, dude.
I mean, look, James,
Yes.
Clint, you guys were 14 when this movie came out.
Right.
No, we were the age this kid was.
You
Yes.
guys were literally the age of this kid when
Yes.
this movie came
Right.
out.
in that year.
Were you dressing like that?
Oh, we're going to talk about how he was dressing.
and
I mean, he
I
was
mean-
dressing ridiculous. We were dressing ridiculous different.
Here's what I'll
you-
say. I had his haircut. So I had the center part, not the full bowl where it was like Lloyd Christmas, where it was like the harsh cut in on the bowl, but the faded bowl with the center cut. Absolutely, brother.
Were you pumping Schoolie D in your bedroom too?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I remember when my sister brought home Chronic, right? And it's like we're like nothing but a G thing. First time I ever heard it. Like she waited till mom and dad weren't home.
Obviously.
Okay.
Right.
We're downstairs. I literally can still picture it. There's the 6-changer CD changer downstairs in the basement. And she puts it on. She's like, you got to hear this right now. And I was like, I felt like I was doing something wrong just
Yeah.
by listening to this.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was great. And then here's this kid in the movie just blasting something that's like 10 times worse, it sounded like.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he was into the the epitome of the 90s gangsta rap.
For sure.
Which was, I mean, that part of the movie was hilarious to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's all kinds of references to that, too. I think even at one point later on when the cops show up, which we'll get into, they say it's like, everything's changed since L.A.
Right.
Right? And I'm like, okay. We're in Ohio here, guys.
Now we're listening to a lot of weird Aerosmith.
That particular quote was funny when I mean, obviously way later on, but he's just like, yeah, since LA, we don't do that sit and duck shit anymore.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, anyway. Mr. Ohio cop.
Ohio cop. Yeah.
Welcome to Cleveland.
That's right. So, because that's the same thing. Anyway, mom picks him up, ruins his scam, but then they end up going to, I don't know what's it called, Computer World or something like that.
Radio Shack.
Radio Shack, but it's like the computer store.
Shack, yeah, but it was way cooler than Radio Shack, I guess.
To pick up some desktop software.
Right, yeah. For her boss.
Yep.
That was so funny to me. She's like, we're here for my friend. I'm supposed to buy him. Like, what was it again? And her son goes, desktop software. And she's like, yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah, desktop software.
Here's a desktop software for you right here.
Is this a good desktop software?
I got to tell you, for 1993, it was the best desktop software available.
He walks over.
The anal retentive for anal retentive.
Paper Warrior.
Yeah, Paper Warrior. That was it. It's a handwritten text to printed text conversion.
OCR.
It was a scanner.
OCR, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
This is why I had Ryan. Ryan's in IT. And this is why specifically I wanted him to watch this movie to bring his current perspective on computer technology.
I really try not to let people know I'm in IT.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, then,
Then they'll ask you to fix their email.
I have a problem. I have a problem with my Wi-Fi next door if you want to take a look at it.
Don't do that.
It's already a problem.
All right.
You could have just said you're a hobbyist.
I'm an enthusiast.
You're an enthusiast, an information technology enthusiast.
Anyway, there's all this really bad computer mumbo jumbo going back and forth, and the OCR, they scan it with like a Walmart wand.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so good.
And then it does it better than our computers do now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It
It's
basically
way
makes a
better.
printed address book, perfectly printed, reads her handwriting perfectly, and converts it over. Meanwhile, Josh goes and there's this computer tech working at the counter in the back of the store. And he goes over to try and talk to him, and the dude is creepy as hell.
Well, the kid, I don't know who quit teaching their kids not to touch stuff that ain't theirs.
Yeah.
But the kid goes to reach into a CRT monitor that's cracked open. The guy's like, don't touch that. You'll get electrocuted.
Except...
Well, you will. I mean, the back of a CRT monitor, there's a flyback transformer in there. They call it a flyback transformer because when you touch it, you fly back.
That sounds like a lot of science.
It's not good.
In this case, he also does happen to be a creepy serial killer.
He happens to be what he
This is
has
the killer.
advertised.
This is the killer from the beginning of the movie, is the tech in the back working.
Yeah.
And so Josh is like, relax, my guy, whatever. Does his little douchey thing that Josh does.
Yeah.
And they walk away.
He just said, relax, my guy.
He does. He's like,
Relax, relax, my guy.
I think he said chill, homie, or something like that.
Something
I was
like that.
Yeah, something stupid.
Basically, some
Either way,
cultural misappropriation,
right.
as we would call it today.
was dumb.
This is then where we cut to and meet, as we're just getting through the part of the movie where they have to introduce everybody. Bram at DataNet, who shows up with his convertible top down.
I don't know. LeBaron? I don't know. It's turd of a convertible.
It was like
Had to be
halfway down. It looked like it was
like
supposed to
stuck.
be
It was
jammed.
broken.
Yeah.
I
Something.
guess.
Raining deluge, much like today.
I'd never heard of someone named Bram. Well, we actually have a Bram that's a listener.
Oh.
So hey, there you go, Bram. Shout out on the show. But this is the first Bram besides that Bram that I've ever heard of. And
What about Bram Stoker?
I never
Dracula?
I don't watch sports.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't watch sports.
I mean, the guy that wrote Dracula, but
that was his name?
yeah, Bram
Oh.
Stoker.
All right, we know 3 Brams.
Total.
Any other Brams
Worldwide.
out there? Let us know. Send us an email at thesebramsuck at gmail.com. Not you, Bram, not the other Bram I'm already talking about. See, now you're getting me in trouble here. All right, Bram is a hero hacker. He hacked the IRS, and they'll tell you 47 more times before the movie is over.
What do you give everybody a nickel?
He gave everyone,
You know what I mean? We
he
all get a
gave
nickel
everyone
refund.
5 cents.
Do you know who this guy is?
He's this guy.
Remember that time you got a nickel in the mail? This guy right here. This is the guy.
This was the guy. The boss was funny, though, the guy that he...
Yeah,
Oh,
Rick
yeah.
Dukeman.
Yes, Rick Dukeman. But tell me, I mean, you guys watch Charlie Barron's,
No.
the Manitowoc Minute guy?
Oh, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
guy?
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know it was his name. Yes,
Tell
I
me
know who
that
is.
they don't sound and look completely similar.
No, they do sound similar to each other.
That's all I thought.
I
when
like.
he
There's
introduced
the movie is
himself.
full of these guys.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's like they didn't have a lead actor in the whole thing. They just got together a bunch of those guys that are in those movies.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Kind of put them out throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
This guy I always remember from The Burbs.
Yeah.
I never saw The Burbs.
Yep,
Tom
The
Hanks'
Burbs.
buddy
Yeah.
in The Burbs. He was also he was in Last Action Hero. He was the guy that played the boss where he shows up at Data Net and he's like, I don't have a sense of humor. It's the first thing people notice about me.
Right.
That's the same guy that played the agent in the one scene in Last Action where the guy shows up to the premiere dressed like the serial killer. He's like, do you ever want to work in Hollywood again? Did this guy show up as, did Jack Nicholson show up as the Joker? I don't think so. Same guy.
He's also in Die Hard.
He's in Die Hard?
He's the power worker when Special Agent Johnson is.
Oh, that's right.
He's like, yeah, I could turn it off from right here. He's like, it can't be done from down
That's got to
here.
go from down here. It's got to be done from
He's
downtown
like,
or
no, I
whatever.
can do it from right.
Yeah, he's
can
like,
you
shut
turn
up.
off?
Yeah, that
hey,
is
can you
the
turn
guy.
off Grid
Yeah.
212?
I forgot. Right, he
that
was. All right, the Grid 212 guy was in this movie.
212.
All right.
This guy's delivery of the most ridiculousness is fantastic.
All right, but you want to know who the biggest villain in this movie is?
Yes.
Honestly, okay, because she leaves her address book there. This is an important plot point. When she leaves, she doesn't buy the thing or whatever.
Yeah. Karen Allen.
Karen Allen leaves her
Leaves her
address book
address
there.
Did she not buy it? I thought she bought
Maybe
it.
she did
walked
buy it.
out.
Doesn't
She
matter.
grabbed that in her purse, but left that out of her.
Leaves her address book. The biggest villain in the movie is the computer store manager.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The guy.
Yeah.
You've
Yes.
got this creepy dude sniffing address books in the back of your shop, and it doesn't ever dawn on you for 1 second, like, well, there's this guy named the address book killer running around out here.
And he's smelling one.
And he's literally just sniffing them back. This is the 6th time I've walked in on him
I'm going to
sniffing
say,
an address book.
you can't tell me that guy didn't know that Carl was like a little off or a little
That's
up to
what I'm
something.
saying.
You know, that lady that bought Paper Warrior earlier? She left her address book here. I think I should bring it back to her.
I think I should bring it
How did
back
I
to
get
her?
so lucky to meet a guy like you?
I
That's
know.
a great idea.
He's the biggest doof. This is the villain of the movie.
That's exactly what I said. How did I get so lucky to find an employee like you?
Honestly.
Gosh.
He's like, that's so weird, is he's constantly returning address books to people.
Straight up. If that happened right now in 2022.
Right.
That I mean, you'd be calling the cops.
Honestly, I'm surprised Josh and them, they were all idiots. I feel like I would walk in the store, look back there and go,
That guy's probably killed some people.
yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure you've got a serial killer that works here.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him for 5 seconds. This dude is like, what a guy.
What a guy.
Oh, wonderful employee.
Yeah.
Above
Guys.
and beyond.
He's gonna brave this rainstorm.
He's got real upper management written all
Yeah,
over.
so the killer offers to return the address book. He's got upper management. That's a straight shooter right there. Yeah.
Risking life and limb. Risking life and limb in this downpour.
Well, it would be life and limb if you're hopping into an old Barracuda, 1967 Barracuda in a rainstorm. You were probably going to die.
He's giggling and laughing to himself. He's driving through oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to get there to kill this person or do you want to die? I don't
Wants
know.
to get there real fast.
Really fast.
It was still hard from sniffing the address.
Is that what it was?
That might
Lack
have been
of
it.
blood.
Okay.
That might have been.
It was lack of blood to his head. That's possible. He overturns the thing. How does that happen? I don't even remember how it happened.
He actually gets some truck driver lady comes and she swerves in
That's
really
what it
hard.
was.
He
Yeah, it was a
swerves.
wide load.
Wide load coming. He
was a
rolls
wide-
this thing over.
It was.
And this is one of those accidents where you watch it and like they roll the car over and it is literally going 12 miles an hour, right? But it slides for like 750 feet without slowing down at all.
Through
No.
tombstones.
The same 12
Yeah.
miles an hour.
Giant ones.
Going through the graveyard, tombstones everywhere. They
Dink,
show the
dink,
guy's
dink.
face and it's just a regular face of a guy holding onto his steering wheel but upside down.
Well, he's laughing a couple shots. Yes.
Well, he's not laughing. He doesn't actually laugh, but
Oh.
the
The
voiceover
ADR. The
is
ADR
all like
was
giggly,
all-
like
yeah.
creepy.
Oh, that
weird
was just
giggly.
ADR.
Oh,
Yeah.
that the
Yeah,
that was
he
that
wasn't
was
doing it.
Oh,
not
see.
only was it ADR, it was very bad.
You can tell I
ADR.
paid close attention
Yeah.
to every frame of this movie. Yeah, so he's not just a maniac, but he drives like one too. They take him to the hospital. Is it a CAT scan or an MRI?
It's an
It's
MRI.
an MRI machine.
Okay.
I
MRI.
said CAT scan when we watched it first, so
Yeah.
that was me.
That was you.
So that's probably I injected that into.
To
your
be
view.
fair, they did put the oxygen mask over his eyes instead
That's
of his
true.
mouth. Because the camera, you just goes right.
That's true. Yeah.
They put. Oh, that's right. The POV shot. They
Johnson,
put the mask.
shot.
This is the sixth time this week. You got to stop doing it.
He probably would have lived. if they'd
Oxygen
given him
goes
oxygen.
in his mouth, Johnson.
He needed Visine and oxygen when he got to the hospital. Would have been fine.
This is just like in Remo Williams when the guy's drowning and nobody tries to save him. The gun just goes off and it's just.
And that was it.
Remember that? They just left him right in the water.
Yeah.
There's so many lives that could be saved if people just paid attention.
Yeah.
Gosh, if only.
If only. All right. So Ryan, walk me through this. They have an MRI because this is what happens, right? But if lightning strikes a power station, wherever that power station may be in town, that then uploads your soul into the internet. That's how that works?
Yep. No.
Explain to me like I'm a 5-year-old, okay? Because what happens is the lightning strikes and then he's in the web, right? Essentially?
So they're taking the MRI, which is it's an imaging machine, right?
Right.
Sure.
That's going to get stored
Somewhere.
Everything they showed in the movie, it's storing it on tape, right?
Okay.
They're saying that DataNet is what they use for their storage. Logistically, what you would be doing is you'd be taking the tapes at the end of the day and driving them to DataNet. Also, during the power outage, they don't have any uninterruptible power systems.
the hospital.
No generator, so I would not want to stay there. Don't recommend. And their PCs don't need to reboot. They just are still there.
Okay, they're just there.
Yeah, they don't lose any connection, nothing.
So there's no cloud in 1993.
Right.
Theirs was working great.
Yeah.
Their cloud was
So
on.
that's the thing is he gets
Just this hospital had
he
the
gets
cloud.
shot over. I mean, even
Power
today,
lines.
they don't transfer your files across to other systems like that.
So they literally were like, had the tapes. They realized, oh man, there's like a skull and crossbone on these tapes. It means that we got a serial killer inside here. Let's drive them over to DataNet.
Is there something wrong with this tape? It's,
It feels heavier than the
janitor's
others.
over in the corner. All he did was move it. And
I'm pretty sure he's possessed.
he's got an Ethernet cable sticking out his head. I don't know.
Right, his head's rotating. Like, we're just gonna leave this here with you guys. Is this cool? They would have had to have brought it to them. Like, sorry, here's a serial killer on tape.
Yeah, we're going to have to just leave this by you guys.
But the way the movie portrays it, it's like it's uploaded straight to them.
Right. If you look at this thing from 1993, what are we talking here? 8th grade for us. We had the night train BBS in Antioch, we would go into. Internet is starting to happen. But like legitimately their portrayal of this is amazing. It's like this doesn't actually, we don't have cloud storage. They're looking at it like we truly, the technology in general in this movie seems ahead of its time.
Right.
It would also take a long time to transfer that data.
In that time on a phone line.
Right.
Yeah,
You're going
a whole
over
person.
phone line.
Not a DSL.
That, you remember like, that.
Sure.
Do you?
That took a long time.
Do you?
I mean, the bit
That was in
rate.
19.
True. Like, what's the bit rate of someone's soul?
Exactly.
We were
He only came in like halfway because baud rate wasn't right.
All right. So,
But guys,
yes.
what if? Just saying, what if it could happen?
It can. Now.
It did happen.
It
I
did.
watched the movie. Didn't
Yeah.
you see the movie?
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
If it could happen, that's how I would like to go. I just upload me to the internet.
What if
just so I could mess
Steve
with people?
Jobs saw this movie and was like, "I got an idea."
It's called an iPhone.
Disney went and had its head frozen, but Steve Jobs said, no, we're going ghost in the machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. That's probably why my phone is spying on us, because it's just Steve Jobs watching
Yeah,
what we're doing.
yeah.
He gets the unedited cut.
Nice.
We keep talking. He might come out of one of these electrical outlets.
He's just going to shoot out of one.
Because they can come through just power
right.
cables as well.
That's right. All right, but we have to cut back to Josh just so we don't forget how awful he is. It's been 5 minutes. So we're back at his house. The neighborhood recycling girl is coming over.
Yep.
Ooh,
And
Carol.
So, Carol, yeah. Josh, flips the hat around backwards. I'm like, all right, yeah, you got to go with the backwards hat. I get that. And he's like, he starts to adjust. I'm like, all right, fix your stuff, sure. But then he takes it a step
Too far?
Yeah, that's an understatement.
I don't know, guys.
I was like,
I mean,
who? No.
He intentionally pulls down his pants.
Well, I get the sagging the pantsing. That was like
Right.
a thing that they did
that's
back
a
then.
thing.
But
the
then
thing that you guys did in
But
'93,
then he pulls up his underwear
yeah,
in the front
and
yeah.
then tucks his shirt,
and tucks his shirt into his underwear.
tucks his shirt into his boxers.
That's weird.
It was a sight.
I was like, somebody tackle him before he walks outside.
I was alive in '93. I don't remember seeing anybody doing this.
No.
I legit thought of you guys when this scene was going on. I was straight up like, I cannot wait to ask James and Clint if they did this when they were 14.
No, we didn't do it because we were like, not idiots.
Right.
I'm not saying the people that sagged their pants are, because there were people that were doing that stuff. But nobody tucked their polo shirt into their boxers
No.
before they went out to talk to a girl.
Man, he had to have the boxers were up to the belly button at least.
At least.
At
At
least.
this point,
He comes
back
out, he's
in
like,
the day-
hey, girl.
At this point back
Yeah.
in the day, we probably legitimately wore like a 26 waist pant. You know what I mean? We were buying 34s. You know what I mean? And a belt. So the pants were huge. This is a thing. That was
Yes.
true.
Yes.
And then usually tight rolled, because why not have huge pants and then tight roll them the next year?
Well, do you want to look cool or not, Clint?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay, that's why you tight roll them.
So do you think the director was sitting there being like, no, you got to pull your boxes up a little higher?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I'm not getting paid enough for this.
He apparently was paid nothing
So
for
he
this.
only tucked the front. He didn't do the whole thing like he was supposed to.
You get 2 tucks.
You get 2 tucks.
That's all that's happening.
2 takes, 2 tucks.
Walks out, he's like, hey, girl, is your dad a thief? Because he stole the stars from heaven and put them in your eyes or something. I don't remember
Yeah.
what stupid
Oh, that was
line
almost-
it
that
was.
was almost-
No, you actually nailed it. That's exactly
Okay.
what it was. Hey, girl. Yeah.
Dana said that's how you picked her up, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Except I didn't. I tucked my shirt into the back of my boxers.
Right.
Okay.
Right?
Correctly.
Left the front out because I wore my
Pants backwards.
because of crisscross.
Right.
Oh, that was the difference.
That was the
Wiggity,
difference.
wiggity, wiggity, whack.
Because crisscross will make you jump.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anyway, can we get off of Josh for a second? Yeah. Meanwhile, we get
brought
during
him
all
up.
of this. I know, because every once in a while the movie would just cut back to him so we won't forget how terrible he is.
This
right?
is the worst
Look,
kid.
He's
You
the
say-
worst character in the movie.
You say the boss at the computer store. I say Josh is
the
the
villain?
villain. Josh is 100%
Aw.
the villain.
I don't know if he's the villain, but he's the worst.
Right. The villain needs to exist. I think that he should have succeeded and only killed Josh on accident.
Name a character worse than Josh in this movie. I'll wait.
I mean,
End episode.
he was, product of a single mom home and, all that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's terrible.
No, I'm not making fun of people that have single mother homes.
Wow, James. That was
I'm saying that I know lots of people that grew up in single mother homes that didn't turn out to be like this kid.
right.
He's only 14. Give him
He
some
tries
time.
to, the first scene, he's trying to manipulate his mother. Oh, it wasn't like this when dad was here. And even mom shut that crap down, right?
Right.
I mean,
The only
wasn't,
time she
look,
actually
look.
mommed.
wasn't John Connor doing the same thing, though, at the beginning of Judgment Day?
Well, this is totally a John Connor ripoff, this whole thing.
I know.
I
know.
They showed him ripping off the ATM in the beginning.
Yep,
And look how
yep.
cool him and his friend are. And they're
Yeah.
kind of doing the same stupid thing.
Exactly.
Here.
It was very much, that's what I got out of it.
Oh,
too.
yeah, the
Was like,
copying.
these guys, they saw Terminator 2 and were like, we got to make this kid like this
Yeah.
kind of edgy,
Hacker.
edgy hacker 14-year-old, and this is what we're going to do. But they had no idea how to
Right.
actually do it.
No, it's everything like that except not cool.
Exactly.
Right. For sure. All right, so we get all these other shots. There's like 3 or 4 different really short scenes. You see the ghost kind of integrating and hacking the passwords of the computer store. They've got a really great password defense system.
Oh, they
there.
deleted the
Guard
entire
dog
password
security.
file.
Guard dog security.
Somebody went through lots of work just to program that cartoon dog.
That was
To protect.
one of the $1 million.
Is that what it was?
Every pixel.
Every pixel. The ghost in the machine then starts messing with her life, right? They empties her bank account,
Sends her
lingerie to her job.
Yeah.
At one point, the guys at DataNet are trying to figure out what's going on. They see her records just literally flying all over the screen. You know, her driver's license, her social security card. It's literally visually flying around on the screen.
Well, it is actual paper behind the monitor.
That's
why you can see it.
That's how the internet was back then. It was just a guy in a room with all your paper who would just hold it up to a camera.
It's like this? Is this what you want?
No, it's over here. It's over here.
I just love how everyone at that ATM was a dick.
Oh, yeah. I don't think ATMs have iron shutters that take your hands off either.
That too. That was so funny.
I mean, I worked at a bank for a long time. I don't remember ever seeing that.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like, oh, now look at what you did.
I mean, you saw Howard the Duck. Cleveland's a rough joint.
It's true. This is our second Cleveland set movie. You're right.
Ooh, yeah.
Which one was better? We'll decide at the end. The best or the worst Cleveland-based movie that we've covered.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Meanwhile, we got to go back to Sucky Josh again because Josh, hey, man, I found an awesome sex program
on my computer.
That was
my computer.
Like, how did it get on your computer that you found it?
I mean, it was already there on his computer.
It's like you buy computers from this guy's creepy shop and you get to, discover the software.
Let's see if I can discover the sex program.
Yep.
With
It's
these
a
hot robot cartoon chicks.
I mean,
I
what else tantalized you as
I don't
a
know.
youth in the 90s?
Oh, you know what really got me going when I was 13?
What's that?
With a cartoon chick go, would you like me to remove my breast shields? I was like, that's it. That's all I needed.
I met my wife
in 8-bit.
In
8-bit graphics.
I started dating
That's how you met your wife
that year.
Oh. Actually, this is kind of similar to my wife's and I's story.
We were otherwise busy.
Speaking of breast shields.
Took much longer.
Look, honey, they're playing our song. Yeah.
That's why she came down and made the mini tacos and then left again. She's like, "Aw,
Right.
they're just playing our story
She's
down
like,
there."
oh my gosh. What a coincidence. But just as he's about to get busy with this robot cartoon chick with her breast shields detracted or whatever,
Without
retracted,
them,
Yeah.
he gets an email.
Who has my number?
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
There you go.
Who has his number to email him? Right. Just want to make sure that
I mean,
you guys caught
if
that.
they called it email back then, but you did need somebody's number to actually, link to computer.
Also, they're rich because the dude was on the phone and
He
on
had
his
his
computer.
own phone line, and there was a house line as
Yeah.
well.
So
I mean, his mom.
And a computer. Well, she took the
House phone.
house phone. Oh, so that was
But
like
he
the
had
same
his own phone line,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
I mean, she worked for TWA.
Twat.
yeah, but in general, they had a very nice house, very nice things.
Single mom, nice
Single
house.
mom. She works at a call center, from what it appears, at least to me.
Yeah, she's an assistant for TWA or something.
Right. I don't know. I don't ask these kind of questions.
Before they drained her bank account, it looked pretty decent. Like, I'd like to live there in the
Yeah.
90s.
Sure. For 1993, she was rolling in it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I forgot the other terrible, cringy thing, Josh, that when he's on the phone going, yeah, I found this sex program. He's like, oh, yeah, I talked to that girl. I call her Butt the Onion because it makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Another one. What a great line.
Another great line. Another wonderful.
I tried that out later this evening. Did not play.
I picture whoever's on the other line has just like left the phone on the ground. Like, no, who's talking to no one, right? Oh,
I mean, Tarantino did an uncredited rewrite of this movie.
did he really?
No.
Oh, dang it. You almost made my day.
That's awesome.
That sounds like Tarantino.
Sounds like a Tarantino movie.
Also, when they're emailing over his phone number,
The killer emails him, yes.
they're like chatting back and forth in instant messaging.
It's more of an
Super quick.
IM than, than an email.
Well,
and he
they
starts
didn't-
being
they
creepy.
didn't know
with
what
him.
IMs were yet then, right?
Right. But he logs off after, he just says, I'm a friend. I want to help you. And he goes, log off. He says, we say log off out loud, don't you? When
Yes,
you want to log
usually.
off of something. Voice activated.
This was the first computer that had voice commands.
Oh, is that what it was? He also, I thought it was a touch screen.
Computer with Siri.
Because the thing was like,
Xbox power off.
the guy said touch your screen. I was like, oh, he's got a touch screen too, way before
Yeah.
everybody else did.
Well, that's what's
that
kind of
was-
weird. Not to start talking about the actual movie,
No.
but but
Accurate.
Point taken.
why is a serial killer so obsessed with him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he
wants to
wants to
help
be
him.
with him.
He wants to get closer to the mom.
You think that's what he's doing?
Yeah, he's killing
Yeah.
all the mom's friends. I don't think the intent originally is to.
Well, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because he downloads that. So remember when she went in to buy the program, they copied one page of her address book, which was like 5 names.
M's.
All M's. Okay.
Mom.
Me.
He then goes in there and gets it.
Yeah.
Now he's got the list. But when he was going to kill her, he was, I'm assuming, driving straight to her house to just kill her. Right? When he took the address book to go give it back to her?
I think he was going home.
Was he?
I think he was just like, ha ha ha, I got a new one. And
Okay.
was like, I think he was just going
Because
home
now
for the night.
that he's got the list, now he's going to start working his way down the list.
Exactly. That's what I think he was excited that he had another.
But I thought they were showing, the reason that they thought he was going to her house is they were showing the scene between her and her mother talking in the kitchen, intercut with him driving.
Yeah,
It makes it
that's
seem
true.
like that's where he's going.
Yeah, I suppose.
Wait, was that the grandma with the this kid and his rap music?
Yeah, I skipped over. I mean, Jessica Walters is in it. She's the mom from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
She's great in that. She's hilarious in that show. She's like in 2 scenes here, totally wasted. And she just like literally is there to be a jerk to her daughter.
Yeah.
You should go out again. Well, your husband's a deadbeat.
You're
You
so
should never should have
pretty.
married him.
Yeah.
Right?
could
Your son
still-
sucks. All that. I mean, basically, she's there for 5 minutes to berate her about everything wrong with her life.
She was straight up like, because you could hear the music coming down, and she was just like, oh yeah, sounds like he's all together.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, it's just a kid listening to rap music.
That's why I thought the killer was on his way to kill her, but now he's going to work his way down the list.
You know, that's fair because actually in the realm of filmmaking,
Yeah.
that's probably what as filmmakers we would have done,
Right.
is to juxtapose that, threat. But maybe she didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, mom kind of busts into the room in the middle of his emailed IM conversation with the killer. And I really thought the killer did him a solid here because if he hadn't emailed him, mom was about to catch him playing with himself with these robot chicks.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he would have been.
That would have been bad. So really, the killer is not the villain in this movie. It doesn't appear to me.
Right.
So he just saved Josh
I want to help you.
Big time embarrassment.
some big embarrassment.
What do you want to help? Did you want to help him
I don't know.
get the robots to the next level? Or what was the deal?
I don't know. He just said touch the screen. We never got to find out.
I think he was going to electrocute him through
Try
the
to-
screen.
Or try to like pull him through.
Suck him through
Yeah.
the screen.
Right.
Oh, like a pixelated hand comes
Right.
out.
Yeah.
And now he's in the tape
Yeah.
drive too.
Right.
And it's heavier.
Oof. What if, guys?
2 skull and crossbones.
What if?
All right. Now, Bram, the IRS hacker hero guy, shows up at their house.
Yeah, Bram Walker.
Right.
With this big open, not a folder of paperwork.
Right.
You know, the guy you would definitely dump his books in
Yeah.
the hallway everywhere.
He's like, yeah, I'm the computer guy. I know the things. And she's like, yeah, computers suck. Go away. I mean, this is like the point
Yeah.
of their conversation.
Legit. Yeah.
And he went all the way over there to have this 2-minute conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Could have been a phone call.
She realizes, oh, you've got my records. She starts going through and they have this kind of really short conversation about
And it turns out, she's been arrested a couple of times, shoplifting,
right.
indecent exposure.
That's when they
you
were
know.
like, he said like, oh, you went to the such and such rally in 1962.
Yeah, you're no fan
were
of
the one
Nixon
who-
or whatever
Yeah,
it was.
you weren't a fan of Nixon. He's like, yeah, I was there too.
Were you one of the ones that jumped nude into the fountain?
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, we finally get to the kill sequences here, which is what horror movies are all about, right? And so he starts working his way down the list. That's what we're going to do. And so the first one up is Frank Mallory.
Yes.
The TWA boss.
Yeah, which is
TWA boss.
the only time we saw him before this was when she had the lingerie sent to her. And he's
Right.
like, what's this? That's established that they're friends, I guess. I don't know, because
Yeah.
she seems really broken up about this afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
It starts off with, Ryan, we get to see what the inside of the network looks like.
Yes.
That's
In the first
Yeah.
Right.
of many optical camera work tricks.
definitely what it looks like.
It looks like it just looks like sparks flying out over a grid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And then you dive over like a cliff. And then these little flaming squares are the inside of our monitors.
Right.
I thought it was like, I thought the inside of the grid or inside of the net was like green numbers and stuff like that.
That's the Matrix.
Oh,
Darn.
It's a different operating system.
that's not Linux.
But they're trying to visually portray this ghost floating around through the network going from place to place.
In the
They're
machine.
ripping off Jurassic Park.
Yeah, basically it's exactly like Jurassic Park when
Yeah.
she's trying to lock the doors or whatever.
Yeah, and she's like, I gotta get to the file.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hey, another 1993 classic.
But it's funny because of what you said about him, or about it's just papers behind the screen, because it
Right.
literally comes like he like donks the killer into the backside of the guy's
Right.
monitor, and like it literally makes a noise, donk donk, and messes up his screen for a second. But he's inside his monitor at this point.
I see you.
And then the inexplicable happens because we're supposed to assume he's in the internet, right? But
Right.
he then travels through the power,
The electrical grid.
electrical
right.
grid,
Yeah.
through the power cord and into his kitchen.
Right, which is just an extension cord through the wall cavity in
Right.
this shot.
In this
It's
shot.
all one.
Yeah.
Cable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the guy just started microwaving.
I was going to say, Frank Mallory was very excited about this TV dinner.
He had 3 of them.
Gonna make 3. in
I
a
mean,
row.
did you see the way that he just like glided his fingers across them in the freezer and was just like, ooh, this one.
These 3 right
You
here.
just tell it looked like dog food.
So he had 3. He only put 1 in there. Maybe he knew in advance that his microwave overpowered stuff. You know what I mean? And it would cook stuff next to the microwave. It's
Those were the in
possible.
case.
Yeah.
Well, he
Those are the
wasn't. Yeah.
contingency dinners.
He wasn't surprised when he walked in and everything's
on
on fire.
fire.
He's like, not again.
He did kind of seem like that.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so again, because internet ghosts can do this, it overrode the microwave, his cloud-connected microwave, apparently, and melted the cord and started a fire inside of it. I'm not sure how he's able to do this.
Yeah, and it's smoking.
What's the wattage of a microwave? You guys had said, and I forgot already.
Mine at home is like 1,400 watts or something
Yeah,
like that. It's pretty
usually
big dog.
the largest you can go is, unless it's like an industrial one, is like 1,500 watts, I think, typically.
Okay.
Because normally you're connecting to a 15 amp breaker. I think we saw that they had 20 amp
they were
breakers.
20 amps in the one shot, but that was grandma's house, so who knows?
You can't
That
go
was-
over 1,850 maybe, 1,800 watts
Sounds like
on
a
a
lot
20
of science.
on a 20 amp
Just
breaker.
math.
The
Well,
thing is,
guys.
It's important. It's going to be important in a second. Go ahead.
yeah, the thing is that there's no way you're gonna like melt the cable like that and then have the door pop. Should I go into?
No, yeah, go ahead. Well, and without
Well,
the
he
breaker
popped the
tripping.
door.
Yeah,
Open.
he opens the door. Yeah, the breaker doesn't trip. So then
Right.
he opens the door, and then the microwave's like, "All right, let's turn on again," and starts microwaving the entire room.
Right.
Which I don't understand how that's even.
He turns the whole kitchen into a microwave
Basically.
Yeah.
with 1,500 watts.
I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Not enough to cook a human person,
It's the
certainly.
second unbelievable thing that's happened in this movie, and I'm not
After
here
the
for it.
forks.
After the fork.
And I don't think that
It's all food related.
I do not think that bananas ooze out of their
Look at that.
peel like this when microwaved.
We'll have
in
to
a room.
experiment.
Now, here's what I'll say. The scene is utterly ridiculous because it defies the logic you've set for the film in that this thing is supposed to be in the internet, and now it's inside the microwave that's not connected to the internet in any way, shape, or form. But besides that, let's put all that aside. Plausibility, ridiculousness.
I believe it.
The effects of the scene itself were pretty well done for a
Yeah,
low budget
not bad.
movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to say,
The
yeah.
skin
Yeah.
boiling.
No, it
The
was, it was
bubbling, popping face and hands and all
When
that
he-
stuff.
When he actually slipped over and blasted his head off the side of the table on his way down, like you
Yeah.
can actually see the skull deformation. I mean, it was
Yeah.
good in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like the makeup guys did their job, the effects guys did it. But like when you have a horror movie, the whole point of a horror movie is to scare the audience.
Yeah.
When it's so ridiculous, this can't happen. There's no like, I'm actually afraid that this could happen to me.
Yeah. Like Final Destination,
Right.
you're like, stuff could fall on my head.
Yeah. It's like some people don't follow logging trucks.
That didn't bother you, the microwave cooking the entire room?
From a
Plausibility standpoint?
plausibility standpoint.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I knew when I first started the movie and it was called Ghost in the Machine and I read the plot description, I knew what I was getting into.
How did he get into the microwave?
Through the electrical grid.
How did he get into the electrical grid?
Because he's in the machine.
But why stay?
Because he's a ghost in the machine.
Why go back into the like net at that point at all? Just stay in the electrical grid. You can get everywhere you want to go.
That's right.
But if you can be dual, why not?
He does seem to be dual at some point
Yeah.
because he's doing multiple things at different times.
Like you were saying,
Yeah.
the production of this particular scene, this was one of the moments as I was watching the movie that I was like, oh, this is actually kind of entertaining.
Okay.
I thought so.
We were entertained.
I mean,
No,
It was
it's not a
entertaining.
question of entertainment.
yes.
Right. It's plausibility.
It's just like follow the like what kind of internal logic is the movie setting?
Oh, none.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so that
none.
I can kind of understand what's supposed to be happening
Yeah.
here. And it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Doesn't at all. But for what it's
Yeah.
worth, these special effects were pretty cool in this scene. And
Yeah.
I thought to myself, I'm like, that was actually one of the more unique kills that I've seen.
That's true.
Ever.
Yeah.
All right, so don't forget Josh sucks. He comes into his mother's room, insults her age, her social life, her style.
Yeah.
All three things in the span of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to get her to go on some stupid date with a guy she can't stand.
The guy named Elliot.
Elliot from the crash test dummy place.
Why don't you start trying, Ma?
Yeah, geez, Mom.
Literally goes into
Try
her,
not sucking.
literally goes into her closet and pulls out a dress and is like, "Where did you even get this?
Yeah, you loser.
Loser. Did you ever buy something not in a catalog or something?"
Yeah, Ma, why don't you try being like
And
an attractive person?
I was pissed off by this. Anything you can get in a store, you can get on the internet or in a catalog. cheaper. I was like, I hate you.
It's true though.
Die in a fire.
It's true though.
I know. Well, the owner of a retail store would not like that.
I hate you.
I appreciate that.
I mean, I appreciate going to retail stores over Amazon Prime, but
Yeah, it is. So it's all a ploy to get her to leave. He really wants her to go on this date because he wants to sneak off to the mall with his friend to go play at Satan's video hell, portal of hell, or whatever it was. I don't know. It was like
Satan's hellhole.
Satan's hellhole or something.
It's just a virtual reality game place.
All right, can we talk about this game? This game was
easy.
dope. Okay.
This looks easy. I want to play this game because if that's their skill level, we're gonna smoke them, dude.
Well, I think it only runs at like 10 FPS.
First thing I said, okay, because it's easy to rip on. It looks
You're giving it
ridiculous.
10.
Right?
I used to play Doom at like 5.
Okay, that's fair.
It would rip hard. Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna get
And that was
right.
And for a while, that was good.
It was good, and we knew that it was good.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the thing I want, and I am probably going to rip it, but the first thing I want to say is if this had been a real thing, 13-year-old me would have thought this was the dopest crap ever, okay? But, so it's not unbelievable that these two kids would be into playing this game.
Right.
The issue is that it's executed so poorly that it's almost like whoever wrote this, edited it, or directed it had never played a shooter before.
Right.
Because the editing of the pay, like guy's like, he's right here, he misses, and the next shot is the other person going, I'm gonna find you. I'm like, he was standing directly in front of you.
Yeah.
Right.
But the next shot he's not again. And it's edited in a way that makes no spatial sense.
So what you're saying is that this is the scene in which you realize the screenwriters had no idea what they're talking about.
Yes.
Oh. Not, okay.
It took this long.
It took this long. No, I already knew with the microwave. I was just like, this triggered me more because, but I also understand at this time, nobody had really played a shooter because outside of like Wolfenstein and Doom, shooters weren't really a thing, especially on like this.
This game looked like Fortnite to me because all there was stupid little 45-degree stairs everywhere.
Yeah.
What I didn't get is like, I mean, I understand from just trying to make it make sense. They put their faces, they overlaid their faces
Right.
on it. But
On the
it just,
VR characters? Yeah.
It just,
Didn't look anywhere
it's like
near.
either make it look like just like their face because it was like they were trying to make it look like it was
Hexagonal.
part of it.
Yeah,
and
right.
so it was just, it looks so weird.
So much macro blocking.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. So him and his friend are in this game shooting at each other poorly and slowly. It's the slowest shooter you'll ever watch in a movie.
Bunch of
all time.
noobs.
Yeah.
Freaking noobs. And they had to play the game, they had to sign in on this like pad, like the signature pad. Okay.
Right.
This is how the killer knows that he's there.
Right.
Because he immediately detects his signature. He's
his
like
signature.
monitoring all signatures everywhere on the internet.
Well, they use cloud backups.
They shoot
In
the signatures
1990
from Satan's hellhole straight to DataNet.
Right.
They send those tapes in immediately so people there know.
In 93, there was one hospital in this game shop using the internet.
That's it.
That was
And they were connected to each other.
Right.
Right.
He just got lucky. The killer just got really lucky on this one.
Of all the VR places in Ohio to go to, he went to
Just
this
a really long coax cable between the buildings.
one. So he zooms down the coax cable from the hospital to Satan's hellhole or whatever this place is, and he's in the game.
Yeah.
EA.
Carl.
It's in the game.
It's in the game.
You see him walking up kind of on these high platforms. Like, dude, I just saw a guy.
He was way better rendered than the rest of the game.
He
Too.
looked like just a regular dude. He gets up there, and this guy, the killer, grabs him. I want you, Josh, or whatever stupid thing he says to him. Opens him out, and these like hot dog snakes come out of his mouth.
Yes.
Right? His eyeball, one eyeball goes like, a really big.
Bro, those are glizzies.
And then he throws him off this platform in the game, but he throws him so hard that he physically flies out of the rig.
Like he's standing in like this ridiculous hula hoop with a thing over his head, and he goes flying out of the slot in between, and then just hits the floor head first.
Right. Well, there isn't a slot. It went over the railing because I watched it the second time. He had to like leap up and over. And it reminded me of Robot Jocks.
Right.
When the robots would hit each other and the person inside the robot would like
just
bleeding.
take damage for
right?
no
They'd
reason.
be taking damage for no reason.
You didn't get hit.
Why is he flying out of the rig?
Look, when you die in the Matrix, you die for real.
That's what it was. Before there was Neo, there was Josh.
Exactly.
He walked so Neo could fly.
This is how they came up with the idea.
They came up with the Matrix.
You know what? What if we did this, but it was like didn't suck and it was cool?
Right.
Let's make the
I don't know, man.
It's like the Wachowski brothers and Steve Jobs went to the same theater and were the
Yes.
only three people that bought tickets to it.
Yes.
And then they shaped the 21st century.
That's exactly what it is. They'll never know what impact they had.
Yeah.
All right. So this is actually, we talked about him being dual, as you said, in two places, because at the same time this is happening at the VR place, the killer is also trying to murder Josh's dog at home.
Right.
Axel.
Oh, yeah.
The only character I liked in the whole movie.
Yeah. He lures Axel out.
Well, he was okay.
Axel was great.
He was humping a table.
Okay, but
This movie went through great
Bad
lengths to legitimately fill every plot sequence.
It did.
Like if they said something happened, they used it.
they're coming
Like,
back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They doubled back to the dog obedience.
He humps everything.
He humps got to pay that off. We got to pay that off, guys. We're not hacks. We're not hacks around here. We're paying it off.
Right.
Yeah.
When I watched this, I didn't realize it the first time when we watched it, but when I realized what was happening in the scene, I just started laughing because it's so stupid. First of all, before I even get to that, the killer goes to the 3D blueprints of your house.com where everyone has 3D blueprints of their house on the internet, right?
I think it's .gov.
Yeah.
Is it .gov? If you want to see yours.
I think it was actually a .org. It wasn't .gov. It's not for profit. They just want to get the information out there.
That's right.
Sure, now that it's public.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because there's 3D prints, blueprints of everyone's house out there. And so he pulls those up. He's like, all right, let me check out the schematics here. Zooms through the phone lines. That actually kind of makes sense because it's the internet. To Josh's house. And then starts to flip the breaker switches. The manual breaker switches.
Right.
Those aren't connected to anything.
Wait a minute. You've seen Maximum Overdrive.
Yes, I know. And I ripped on them for the same thing.
I know we weren't supposed to do it, but in the kitchen scene,
Yes.
one of the characters from Maximum Overdrive made a appearance.
That's true.
The
electric knife.
electric carving knife.
Oh,
Yeah.
the electric car.
I felt like that was on purpose.
That was intentional.
With the baby.
That's right.
That we're not to there yet, though.
But those switches aren't connected to anything. Nothing.
Right.
Well, and if they do flip, they're specifically designed to not flip back on until you.
Reset
That's
them.
the whole
Yeah,
point
yeah.
of the switch.
It shuts off the internet. So then once you flipped it, how do you
Power.
access that switch again?
Through
Right.
the power.
That's what I meant, the power.
Yeah.
It's mentally to shut the power off. So then what do you do? Because that's what you're there. You're existing in the power. So you're like, nope. How do you get back to it? So
Right.
it doesn't make sense.
What you're saying is he was essentially committing suicide.
Every time he flicked
Every
that
time he
switch.
flipped that breaker. Yeah.
All right, but this is the thing that killed
Maybe
me.
he was
So
in the bus bar.
he has to lure Josh's dog because he's going to kill him in the pool. There's this electric pool cover that, like a garage door opener, just fabric thing goes across the pool.
Yeah.
And he has to lure the dog into it, right? We don't see the dog die. We see the dog run up to the pool, and then it we don't find out till Josh gets home from the VR place that's what happened.
Right.
But what I realized the second time watching it is the reason that as it's flipping the breakers, it throws the TV on is because it shows a video of a hot dog getting out of a pool, and then he starts to hump the table, which then makes the dog run to the
Oh,
pool
you're right.
to get in.
Okay, these guys really thought this through.
They paid it off.
They
Because-
even established a motive for the dog.
That's what I'm saying, because at first I was like, why? What
Genius.
drew him to the pool? There was nothing. He just walks out there. There wasn't a noise. There wasn't anything like It literally, they showed him like,
dog.
check out. It was like the Phoebe Cates scene from Ridgemont High, but like with a dog. Okay, like it just jumps out of the water. He's like, oh yeah, and then he's like, oh wait, we have a pool, and that's how the dog gets killed.
Yep. That's how he goads. It's how he goads the dog to go to the pool.
That's what I'm saying.
The dog runs out there and wags his tail and looks at the water.
It's like, what? It's some hot babes out
So
here in
he's-
this pool.
Yeah, so the dog's all like, maybe if I jump into this pool, I might just find myself.
I won't have to be humping this
I won't have to be
table no
humping this
more.
coffee table. The splinters are
I
getting
can't
ridiculous.
Believe they went to that length to get the dog into the pool. It makes me so happy.
They could
I
have
love
just
it.
had
Actually,
somebody. That's the thing. They did not just, this happened for happen. No, they gave
No.
a reason for
that's
everything.
what I'm saying.
I really felt as we're talking about the screenwriters
Yes.
and as other parts of the movie where it kind of comes in waves where it's like you see that these guys as screenwriters, okay, so they thought about that. But then the next scene it's like, okay, but they just
Threw it away.
glossed over that one.
Yep.
So there was 2 screenwriters, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, as a duo.
So maybe
Will and Will.
Maybe the good Will would show up mid
what I was
thought,
thinking,
where
too.
he's like writing, he's like, so how's it going? He's like, well, I'm just having this trouble with this pool scene. I need to get the dog into the pool.
Yeah.
But how do I do that?
Yeah.
He's like, I got you.
I got you.
It's like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck writing Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but Josh comes home.
Yeah.
He's like, where's Axel? He sees the pool cover is half open. A jar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, of course, he swims underneath there.
That's what you would do. Well, he tries to open it and
Tries,
gets caught.
couldn't, it gets
Yeah.
caught. That's right.
Oh, because it was closed, and he comes out.
And
He's
he,
like, "Oh, who closed the pool
That's
cover?"
right.
Yeah.
Once he swims under there, he sees poor Axel tangled up in like the lane dividers, the
Yeah.
ropes.
Yeah.
The lane dividers are like caught in the pool cover. That's why he
Yeah.
has to go in. He gets under there. The dog's tied up in them. And then they come to life because these are not electrical.
No, they're not. They're ropes.
Now, if you go ahead and you start closing the pool cover again, I get that. That's electrical. You got that in the bag, right?
Yeah.
But these inanimate jump ropes, these long jump ropes of, plastic, actually swirl around and grab him.
Yeah, well, at the end, at first it kind of make it look like it's not intentional. He's just getting tangled up in them. But at the point where he's now swimming for the thing as it's closing, he's trying to beat it to the edge of the pool.
Right. So Carl.
Literally,
serial
there
killer.
is nothing. There's no ropes anywhere near him, and one wraps around his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Because the serial killer is now trying to just close him in his own pool.
right. Which you could easily, lift up and breathe. But
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's a
my
somehow
in-laws,
not able to do that with this tarp.
my in-laws literally have that pool cover.
Oh.
Of like the turn the key and it.
Rich people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Richie Rich
Jeez.
over here.
I said in-laws.
Come on.
I said in-laws.
Okay.
Married into money.
Married into money. Married above his station, some would
Yeah,
say.
he did.
I was just wishing the kid would actually get tangled and pulled
I was
under.
cheering for the pool cover.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Josh is toast. Here we go.
I was cheering for the dog to come back to life for 1 second and just rip
I was
his
like,
throat out.
all we need is Karen Allen and Bram in the finale. He doesn't need, Josh doesn't need to be there.
Right.
That would really raise the stakes.
If
Yeah. I think you would have needed a real dog, though, instead of
The
the
inflatable.
stuff.
the stuffed animal that bumps into
The
him.
My First Pet Dog.
Yeah, I think my
Doll.
kids have one of those.
Oh no, that's true though.
All right. Karen Allen pulls a Deborah Richter and shows up at Bram's hotel or the motel or whatever, just like in
was
Winter's
gonna
Take
say,
All.
What's going on with Brom? We haven't talked to him. In
Nothing.
A while.
He's just literally at this motel. She shows up. Karen's now the one actually like saying to him, hey, I think the computer's trying to, he's like, you can't, this is when he says the line, it's impossible to kill someone with a computer.
You spend the first 20 minutes with Bram here, and he is 5 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And at this point in this conversation, he is oblivious to what's actually going on.
right.
No, I thought Bram was going to be like the shining light in this movie.
Yeah.
And no,
He could have been the Hopper. Basically,
Could have been.
He could have been.
he could have been.
as Hopper to Jaws. Bram
All right,
does.
let's jump to the next kill.
Yeah.
Crash test dummy boyfriend, Elliot.
This is good stuff.
This is a good
this
one.
is a good one.
I liked this.
Yeah.
That's how you check brakes on a car, right?
Yeah, you just kind of bend over, you squat down, bend over, and just look
Through the right in the front.
through the front. Something wrong with the brakes. Again.
Yeah, so it's a crash test. They got the dummies in the car, and of course it's hooked up to this track, and there's a cable that pulls it towards a wall, right?
Yeah.
And it's inside this the ghost has come inside the station. And when he stands in front of the car to check the brakes, there's a panel that's like, get ready. Here we go. Almost time. Accelerate or whatever, right? It like lights up. Okay.
More or less. Yes.
More or less. And so it starts to light up. Ding, ding. And it's almost to the red one. It's the last one. But every time he gets out of the way.
Right, but during all of this, there's these pulleys on the floor for the skid that are just back and forth. Nobody hears.
There's smoke coming off of it at one point.
Yeah.
Nobody hears these cables and pulley system tugging on each other, trying to go. The brakes are still stuck. Apparently.
That's right.
Well, I like that Elliot's the boss, right? Because he's the guy. He's the guy in the shirt and the tie, and everyone else, all the science people are there, and
Yeah, and he's not super nice to them.
And Elliot's just like, I'll just do it myself. Oh, I'll just fix that myself.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna go do that myself.
He gets pulled, so he's about to get run over because he's under the car looking at the brakes, and somebody goes, "Hey, the camera stopped working."
Yeah.
So he gets up, then the panel powers down again.
Mm-hmm.
He goes over and he's like, "All right, I think let me just go and stare at this with my hands in my back pockets for 5 minutes."
His
Right in front of where the car would crash.
Oh my God.
So then the panel starts to light up again. Ding.
We got him. We got him. We got
him. Somebody brings over a ladder. He's like, "Not that ladder, you moron."
What, are you going to kill me?
Literally, this guy, when he's like, "Here's your ladder, sir."
With the broken rung on it.
Broken rung on this wooden rickety ladder. It's like,
He's like, "What are you trying to do? Kill me?"
Yeah,
But somebody else is trying to.
oh, man.
Actually, that's exactly what's going on here.
That's right now. You've just survived 2 murder attempts you don't realize in the last 2 minutes.
Now the sensor inside the dashboard of the car is malfunctioning.
Yeah, so now he's got to
What
go.
else can there be?
what else can...
So then he goes and he lies across the lap of the front seat.
Crash dummies.
Of the crash,
Crash
test
dummies.
Yeah.
And finally the panel hits the red button and the car accelerates towards the wall.
Smashes into the wall. This is probably a 20 or 30 mile an hour header.
Right, which is like falling off a 6-story building.
It's enough to, disintegrate everything in front of the wheels. Like
Yes.
tire, bumper, flat, hood up, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
He gets out of this car in mint condition. No
He's- he
dents on
does.
the dash.
He wasn't
Steering
even
wheel straight.
bleeding.
No
He's
blood.
totally
no
fine.
bruise.
He wasn't even bleeding. And everyone's
He's like,
reaction...
you're on fire.
They just like run up and they're just like, whoa, are you okay?
Well, hold on. They all run up except for one guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
The
I don't
first
know
guy.
who this guy is.
Hero.
My favorite guy in the entire movie is this dude. He's got like a newspaper and he's wearing like this, I think like a blue shirt. And he's just like, "Well, let me just go over here and see what happened." Okay. Well, he's all right. I mean, he was like Fred in Galaxy Quest, like just not bothered or affected by anything.
Yeah.
I love him. He was in that one scene.
Yeah.
Best character in the whole movie.
Just because of his nonchalant.
But the way he played it was hilarious.
He did, admittedly, yes.
It was awesome.
They're telling me that he had a head-on collision. So
So just FYI.
Yep.
Yeah, and so he goes into the bathroom.
So Elliot, the boss, gets out and is like, "You're all fired."
Oh, that's right. He fires everybody.
They're all fired and walks away.
He goes into the bathroom.
So good.
And the killer is in the mirror.
Wait, no.
no.
He could have been.
It could have been in the sink.
Doesn't matter that there's no electricity
No, he's not in the sink.
or anything. He could have been in the
Washes his
sink.
hands. He's not in the soap.
He's
Not in the soap. He's not
I
in the-
thought he was in the soap.
He's in the paper towel dispenser. Nope, they didn't have one.
Oh.
He's in the
It
tiles.
was a manual. It was a manual paper towel dispenser.
Yeah.
Well, I was half expecting the manual paper towel dispenser to come alive and kill him.
Choke him.
Choke him.
The paper towel.
2 metal hands just come out of it, and it's like, what is happening?
He pushes the button on the hair dryer or the hand dryer.
Well, first he
thing.
flips it
upright.
Did anyone ever do that? Is that
Only
a
when
thing?
you were really cold at the ski hills.
Okay.
You
was
fill
gonna
your
say-
coat or your sleeve with the heat.
Well, he
before you
washed
walk
his
out.
face, and so that's why he was going to
Is that why he was going to do
I
it?
was gonna, like when you get wet at the water park.
Again,
That was the
back in the
first
day.
move. I was like, who's this guy, Mr. Just, I'll turn the hand dryer upside down.
Again, the writers knew what they were doing.
Yes.
We got to make sure to
Otherwise,
blast
they would
this guy
just
in the
scorched
face.
his balls.
Yeah, so what mechanism inside that thing would turn it into a flamethrower?
Well, I mean, it does have a heating element in it. It does have a fan.
That's true.
If you fill it full of flour instead of talcum powder, when you go try to antique your significant other, do not put flour in their hair dryer, people. All right?
Okay.
Use talcum powder.
Talcum powder, got it.
Flour can be extremely flammable.
Oh,
Yes.
did you learn this the hard way?
No, I'm just intelligent.
It's all the gluten.
Right. I
Like
specifically
wheat mills
put
and stuff
gluten
like that.
in
Flour
my hair
mills used to
dryers.
explode.
It's all the
Okay.
gluten. It inflames
But
you.
yes,
I don't want a gluten-free hairdryer.
We're assuming nobody put flour in there and they just spewed flame.
It just spewed flame out of the hand dryer.
I mean, his hands were dry. I mean, most effective face and hand dryer I have ever seen.
It did its job.
Let's face it, it did.
As advertised.
As advertised. It went above and beyond, actually. Flame broiled the guy for head to toe.
So I just try to get out there and give 110%.
Never go over 100%.
Did a press conference with the hand dryer afterwards.
I love the abruptness of it, though.
Oh,
that was
out of nowhere. I actually thought it was really a good job of subverting expectation by the screenwriters.
Once again, it's like all these like near miss with his, the crash test dummies and all that other stuff.
There were so many
and it's like,
payoffs.
oh man, and then he just hits the button.
Boosh. I thought that was actually really well done.
It was.
That was good.
Once again, another solid kill scene.
Yes.
Which, sure, not scary at all.
No.
But
entertaining.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
There are horror movies that just entertain through killing and don't have to be scary.
Sure, it's true.
I think so.
Well, if you want another not scary scene, the next person that gets killed is the babysitter at Roy's house.
Oh.
So mom sends Josh to his Sandlot friend's house.
Yeah.
He's like, we're not safe at home.
Yeah. So go over to Kenny Nunez.
But they snuck out last time, so his mom gets him a babysitter because he's a bad influence.
And it's Carol, the recycling girl.
Oh,
of course
Carol.
it is.
All right.
And they do this thing, which they do in horror movies. They give you a couple of red herrings, a couple of fake outs, right? Like the baby crawls into the kitchen by herself.
Playing
Like,
with
oh
the
my
stove.
gosh.
Stove turns on.
First
Electric
of all,
carving knife.
What a terrible pack and play. Like Carol just puts the baby in the packing play, and within 10 seconds, the baby's already crawling into the kitchen.
Yeah, spoken like somebody that has a small child at home.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't like the pack and play that we had.
I just figured there's no way they're going to kill a baby in this movie.
No. That was one of those things where it's like, okay, this is going to go too far.
If this is what happens.
Like, this movie's pretty entertaining.
Yes.
This is going to go way bad.
So they laugh at her for freaking out or whatever, and she's like, you guys got to go wash the dishes.
Yeah.
And so the second fake out is with the garbage disposal.
Yes.
Which has
realistic garbage disposal.
Giant rotating blades.
Rotating ninja knife blades.
So
this one was not made by Incinerator. So your experience here doesn't matter.
Okay, that's fair. They didn't show the.
Well, no, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say one of my clients is Incinerator, and there are not blades inside of those things.
That's not what
you
they
can
look
stick
like.
your hand inside, and it will break your knuckle.
Right.
Don't do that, please. No, anyone, don't stick your hand inside. But
Don't test this.
I've talked to people that have
advocating testing this theory.
I know people who have stuck their hand in on and had it accidentally hit their hand, and you may bust a knuckle, but that's about it because you'll pull your hand out before.
Right.
Hopefully.
Because it's like little hammers more than blades.
Yeah, it's like little hammers that hit against it. It's basically a cheese grater on the out.
Right.
A sliding majigger.
Gotcha.
We'll call it.
Okay. Well,
Industry term.
The spinning slidey majigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
what I love though is how they shot it, because they didn't just stick a mini camera inside of a garbage disposal. What they had was a giant hole for him to look through, like a platform with a forced perspective. They literally dude was probably standing up, not looking down into it. And they shut the camera, or they put the camera behind these giant blades to make it look like. I'm assuming that thing was gigantic that they actually shot.
Absolutely. It, right? I mean, think of this. I mean, the size of 30.
sheet of a plywood.
The size of 35 millimeter cameras back then.
Right.
There was. Yeah. That was work.
So that was just to get that one shot.
That one shot of that forced perspective. That was a lot of work for them to do.
Another $1 million.
That's right.
Another million.
That one. That's 2 of the 12 million we've already spent. All right, so that obviously he doesn't get his hand chewed up, although he fakes like he did.
Yeah, it does the typical
because Josh is the worst person in the movie.
And then Kenny Nunez is like, what? Oh, you go. Oh, you.
Well, how else are 2 13-year-olds supposed to entertain themselves while the babysitter's there?
Well, you pull up $37 and offer her money to take her shirt off.
You try to scam the babysitter into taking her shirt off. That's exactly what you do.
I'm not surprised that 2 13-year-olds would pool their money and try to get her to take her shirt off. I'm surprised that she took $37 and did it.
She didn't show anything more than bathing suit. So
they tried to get her to take her bra off. She said just the shirt.
Nope, just the shirt.
But what do they promise her?
$37 and her driving record fixed.
Yes.
And that was
it.
the
tipping point. She's like,
We're hackers.
We're hackers.
You want a perfect credit score? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seem like the kind of kid that would play a sex program, so I trust that you can fix my driving record.
Exactly. Why not?
Right.
Look, what does Carol have to lose at this point?
At this point, if the screenwriters had been worth their salt, he would have said $37 for you to remove your breast shields.
Okay. There you go.
payoff.
Oh,
Right.
missed opportunity.
What a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that was one of the bad Will days.
And it wasn't a big deal because, again, she shows very little. The best, or you could say the worst part of the scene was the reaction shots of the boys. First of all, go ahead.
No, just the ooh.
Yeah, well, not only that, they do the pan up, right? They did the full pan and scan of her body 6 different times in this movie.
Yes.
When we first see her, when she gets there with the recycling, 4 times in this scene.
Just gonna say, yeah, the effort to make Carol a sex symbol.
Yes.
While she's sitting on the chair for
Right.
a few moments.
And before you say this is a sexist thing, it was a female that directed this movie. Okay. And so I can't even figure out for the life of me why this was pushed so hard, because I'm assuming she's like 15 years old in this movie, or supposed to be. I know she wasn't 15 when she shot it.
Right.
She was like 23 or something like that.
Yeah, the actress was in her 20s.
Right,
of
but I'm
course
saying, like,
she's
she's
supposed to
supposed
play a
to be-
16-year-old.
Which
Yeah.
is also ridiculous because they play women both directions of that.
Yeah.
We've seen late teen, 20-year-old girls played by early teen girls
Right.
versus this other way around here. But yeah.
So it's just uncomfortable. And I'm like,
potentially.
normally you go, okay, what kind of creepy dude directed this movie? And you're like, oh, wait.
It was a British woman.
Right.
A British woman from Chicago. Wow.
So what
Yeah.
we're going to do is we're going to pan up to get under your bum. And
All right, do me a favor. Do a British accent every time you say anything forever for the rest of your life, okay? Because that was awesome.
It was good.
That was
very
actually
good.
really impressive.
It was good.
Say bum a lot. It helps.
Yes.
The reaction shots, as she's slowly, like they're shooting it like it's a music video, she's slowly undoing her, like you can call it a shirt. It was basically a half shirt.
Half jean kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Half jean, half shirt.
It keeps cutting back to the guys, and each one's like, they're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here it, about to see it.
Oh, you excited? I'm excited.
And it just kind of builds and builds, and it was so cheesy and terrible and awesome.
But like ridiculously, she pops her shirt open, wearing a bra, obviously.
Right.
A little bit of cleavage. She closes it back up, turns around, big smile, giggle, walk away.
They fall into the couch. Like literally
Yeah.
the sight of her still covered breasts
Yeah.
send them flying backwards onto the
You
couch.
can't tell me that wasn't, though, a 100% exact reaction that a 13-year-old would have to that
Oh, no, it was,
scenario.
I found it highly accurate.
Yes. That's what I mean. It's like you have all these little glints of like, oh, that was like...
It's like, yeah.
13, 40, whatever. You know?
Like, because when I watched this with Clint, I looked over, like, aren't these reaction shots stupid? I look over and he's like,
He's
here
like
it
nudging
comes.
you.
I'm like,
Here it
oh,
comes.
no, I guess they actually nailed it. It's my bad.
Yeah, my wife is one of the women who, like, every time she goes to go up the stairs, she, like, blocks behind her, whether I'm there or not. It's just
Yeah.
force habit now. So it's
gotcha.
like this, I'm still a teenager.
I got you.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny that like she literally kept everything covered. Like you barely saw her bra, and then she still covered it more to show them
Yes.
nothing.
Nothing, essentially. Yeah. Carol really earned that $37, but
Never got to spend it.
according to the rules handed down by Randy in Scream, you do something sexy, you
die.
get killed.
Yeah.
And so, not 2 minutes later, she's hanging out in the kitchen, bare feet on the tile, exposed plug on the ground.
The dishwasher's running.
The
right?
dishwasher.
And the dishwasher's
Dishwasher
running.
has a display on the front, wash, rinse, all this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
sure.
What are the last 3 things that it says? Because like the
I have
version-
Explode?
I was gonna say,
Wrote it
I know
down.
that,
Okay.
but
This
it
is
goes
great.
through.
It's agitate,
Yes,
which it starts getting really rough.
Shaky.
which a
right.
dishwasher doesn't really agitate. So is that a
Right.
clothes washer in the?
Right.
No, it's a
that does happen.
dishwasher.
But yeah,
Explode, where it actually busts open.
Yeah.
And then it goes die.
yes,
So I don't know who programmed that, but
right. Well, the ghost.
Well,
okay.
well, before it even like really gets violently and explodes, it's the water just starts to come out the bottom of
Well,
it.
he
Yeah.
could electrically bypass the seals in the door.
Right. Yeah. He
Because
overrides
you
the
can
rubber
do that.
gasket.
Right.
Overrides the rubber gasket.
But guys, the most important part of the scene is that she turns on Yo MTV Raps.
Yes.
And starts working in the kitchen.
Yes, clearly.
Yes.
She goes out happy,
Oh yeah.
right? I mean,
mean-
what a way to go.
She's really like boogieing to this.
Would you rather, die an old lady in bed forgetting who you are, or would you rather go out 15 years old twerking to Yo MTV Raps?
$37 in your pocket and a clean driving record promise for tomorrow.
Which way would you rather go, Ryan?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Nailed it.
I was just gonna say Rose seemed really comfortable at the end of Titanic.
Yeah. So the dishwasher says die, and it literally electrocutes because she's water everywhere.
Yeah.
She dies of
Open plug
electrocution.
on the
And
ground.
of course,
Plug in the
this
ground.
apparently this dishwasher has 10,000 gallons of water in it.
Oh gosh,
dude,
That was a lot of water.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Also,
lot of
the
soap.
also the breaker doesn't trip either.
Yeah. Well, he,
Right.
They
he
didn't
has
have
breaker
GF
mastery.
Is it
We know
GFCI,
that.
is it?
I was just
Yeah,
gonna
ground
say
fault.
this was before the ground fault.
Well,
Yeah.
Interrupters.
it took till now in this stupid movie. The geniuses finally figure out there's an order from her address book that the killer is going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kid figures
kid.
it out.
The kid figures
The
it
only good thing Josh does.
And so they realize mother-in-law, Jessica Walters, is the next on the list. So sends the kid to grandma's house and says, unplug everything.
Yeah. Turn it all off.
Turn it all off. Get it all off. You stay here with grandma.
She's next. You stay here.
You stay here. The killer tries to come through the electricity, but it's blocked. Access denied. Literally comes up on the screen.
You didn't say that word.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's like Q-tips and Band-Aids on the
Dude,
outlets.
tell me
15
how many
different types of
15
tape,
different types of
Band-Aids,
way to plug an
Q-tips.
outlet.
I didn't see chopsticks, but I was looking for them. I mean, yeah,
There's forks sticking into some of them.
I did that as a kid. Do not recommended.
We're not going to advise on that theory either.
This is where the movie starts to get a little muddled as far as when things are happening, because it sends her to mom's house, says, stay here for the night. Then the next cut, it's her in the daytime driving, and it overrides the traffic lights to try and make her have an accident.
Right.
At the same time that's happening, it starts to call and torment Bram in the call center.
Oh, yeah.
Right. They're trying to trace the call with her car
He's trying to, but it's like daytime,
'Cause that
but
was
then
a-
it's nighttime where this is happening to mom.
Right.
They just jammed all these scenes together
Well, there's a time zone difference
in the same city.
in Cleveland,
City.
apparently.
This is where it really starts to get kind of convoluted from a timing standpoint, right? You're like, okay, whatever. We're just moving the chess pieces. When the killer can't get into the house, it calls the police.
They totally just like 911 call everybody on her.
Oh, and the police don't let the killer down.
No.
No.
They send everyone.
Yeah.
It's like one police department gets a call for shots fired. One police department gets a call for a domestic. One gets a call for murder victim or so. I mean, it's
The first one was an officer down.
Yeah.
Right.
And I like how the cop, they're like at a burger joint and the call comes in for officer down and he looks at the guy, he's like, well, looks like you're going to have a crazy first night on the force. And he just like,
Yeah.
okay.
So basically she gets swatted
Yeah. So this was the first thing of
that I could think of.
first thing of swatting
And
pertains to that.
19 cop cars pull up in front of grandma's house, and you called it. We're
Called
watching
it.
it, and Clint's like, a transformer's going to blow, and they're all going to open fire, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's literally exactly what happens.
I could write this stuff.
Cops should be able to tell, hey, that was a transformer that
Hey,
blew.
that was behind us. Let's keep shooting at this house in front of us.
They
eh?
all open fire.
Look, that guy wanted an excuse.
Oh,
That-
for sure.
That cop was the one that was like, he was the one with the one line of like,
ceasefire.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
we
Like,
don't do the sit and duck
that's why I
shit.
said the cops obliged. They didn't let the killer down, because I'm not going to say the transformer was a reasonable excuse for them to light up this house with 27 cops all shooting their guns into the house.
No, that was proper police procedure for the 90s.
But everybody's fine. He and the grandma didn't get shot.
Nope. She's in the hospital suffering from shock.
Right.
Shock.
You're in shock, Mom. You'll be okay.
She's just literally laying there. I'm like, I think that's a wax figure of Jessica Walters. I don't think
Man,
They couldn't,
couldn't
get her that
afford her.
day.
For
couldn't
the last
afford her
day.
anymore. She wasn't free.
It's like you only had 2 days. They didn't get the scene done. That's why it's daytime and some of
Right.
it. Just get them all done.
just
Go,
get the
go.
plaster cast.
I was worried for the grandma.
Were you?
Oh, yeah. Because then I was like, oh, no, he's going to come back to the hospital and get the grandma through the...
Oh, it'd be easy to get her in the hospital.
Yeah.
Through the MRI
Yeah.
machine.
He knows how to get there.
I was going to
That's
say.
right.
That grandma was a sitting duck at that point, and he missed a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, well, that's a. You're right. A plot thread that doesn't make sense.
That was left open for the sequel.
All right. Well, it's time for a plan anyway. We got to get to the end here. It's time for a battle plan. So there's 3 people left on the board. There's Bram, the IRS hacker, Mom, and Josh, essentially.
Yeah. So Bram and Mom finally deduced. They're like, oh, it must have been that address book killer, and I think he's in the computers.
Yeah.
So that must be what's happening. Let's figure this out.
So I'll upload a virus.
Too bad you can't just erase him.
Yeah. Well, they're like, well, magnets. Because magnets erase floppy disks. Remember those, boys and girls?
You can't ever really erase something
He's
on the internet,
right.
Mom.
Yeah.
You can't use a fridge magnet to erase this.
No, but
Actually, he's wrong.
But if you had a big enough magnet.
yeah. So what they're going to do is he's going to create a virus that forces the killer to go into this particle accelerator.
Yeah, uses up all the memory for everywhere else and leaves one way open.
So, okay, so he's going to do this virus. The guy's on the tape drives, but he's going to fill up the memory, which is not on the tape drives, and he's going to block him through the network with that.
So he also can't use the power grid anymore.
None of those things are the same thing. That doesn't.
They're all the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Which one of those works the microwave?
None of those.
Okay, which one? How do you get into the hairdryer?
He's
Electric operates
done.
on the
Wait a
FM.
minute.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All
None of this
electricity operates on the FM principle. It's friggin' magic. All right. You take a plug, you plug in one appliance, and it
And it
burns
just works.
toast.
And it burns toast.
You plug in another one, and it plays an image off
Right.
of a round disky Madoo and puts it onto your TV
Yeah.
that's
What an
plugged in yet a
amazing-
different
what
one.
an
a
amazing
lightning
thing.
strikes a power station, and now I can flip manual circuit boards from the internet.
True.
But wait.
Right?
And their
pretty much how it
plan
works.
is going to be to draw them out with a magnet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But what does an MRI use for imaging?
Magnets.
Oh.
Womp womp.
So why didn't they just draw him out with the MRI machine?
Why did it even happen?
back in his body.
Why did it even
Wait.
happen in the first place?
Oh, yeah.
Just put him back in his
Why
body.
did it even happen in the first
This
place?
whole thing is a farce.
Guys, I think this isn't a good movie.
All right, hold on. Let's get to this.
Should we?
They have to.
You are
the
3
magnets
minutes
are
early,
gonna-
sir.
The magnets
and where's
are
your
going
accent?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. He's got. I'll upload a virus. It's going to force him into the particle accelerator. Then the magnets will obliterate him. But for some reason, they have to go there physically. Okay, fine. I get Bram, but why do Karen and Josh have to go? They don't know how to do anything over there,
I
Right.
mean, but,
Fodder.
you know.
You
Fodder?
need cannon fodder, you know?
right? For them to be cannon fodder.
It's a diversion.
It's diversion in it. All right.
Support,
Whatever.
man. Back
Hot-
support.
Hot dog virus activates. It starts filling up the network. We get this
They
awesome.
do look like little ridiculous hot dogs.
That's what I'm saying.
This guy who did the animation was friggin' hungry. Like missed lunch.
Well, and they show the hot dogs, and, and then he's looking on a little screen.
He's on a
He's got-
laptop or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's got like the hot dogs going, and then he can see the little green dot. He knows where he is. It's like, if you know where he is,
Just go
then
there.
why has this been such a mystery the whole movie?
You got a tracker.
right.
Also, while
they're
they're
tracking
driving is when he uploads the virus.
What if
They're
just
hooked up in his car
through the phone,
through the phone.
the cell phone
No, through
that
the,
she
cig-
ripped
through the
out
cigarette
of her car.
through the cigarette lighter.
That's, yeah.
That's how they plug it in.
They had 2 batteries in the car.
Sorry, Clint, go ahead.
Why didn't they just block off all of the exits and leave the guy stuck with your virus?
Just tape
another thing.
every
Just- and then-
receptacle.
Exactly.
Why not Q-tip every outlet and
Tape
get it, and then burn it to the ground?
Tape every receptacle in a 5-mile radius.
That's right. Burn the city to the ground and start over.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Or why not detonate an EMP and send the whole Ohio back to the Stone Age?
That would have worked.
That would have worked.
All
They
right.
coulda- They
That would
could
have
have
been,
gone.
you know,
into the
that would have
future.
been lackluster.
They
Come
could
on.
have gone
Fair
into
enough.
the future and grabbed one of those EMPs that they shot at Paul Walker's car,
Okay.
and then that would have taken care of the whole problem.
Perfect.
Right.
Done.
All right. So when the hot dog virus forces the killer out to the particle accelerator, he literally splurts out of an audio port
Is that what it was?
It was
Yeah, it was like an ox jack.
That was the biggest. That was the
1/8
biggest
phono
piece
jack.
of confusion for me.
Yeah.
It
I'm
looked
like-
large though.
So he's
It could have been a 1/4 inch.
yeah, it's probably quarter.
so he's purging from the mainframe, and I'm like, but what is he really? Okay.
I don't know. But now now there's a physical embodiment of him, but it's like think of it like particles, like nanobots, almost like a dust monster made up of like computer generated little bubbles.
In 8-bit.
or mini hot
8-bit.
dogs.
Or mini hot
It was
dogs.
like 5-bit. It
it's
wasn't
like
even an even
Tylenol
number.
5-bit.
gel capsules.
Yeah, that's
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
red and white. And
Mom spends the entire end sequence. Oh, go ahead.
It's like Red Good and Plenty's, you know.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah, totally. That's exactly what it was. And the green grid just manifests kind of out
Yes.
of nowhere, and
well, that's
Yeah.
how he can render is.
Yeah.
sure.
It should have taken him 4 years to render. It should have been a spinning wheel, and they just sit there and they wait. They're like, when's
Yeah.
it
Like,
gonna
when is
load?
this guy going to get here? We'll fire up this damn accelerator already.
It's like buffering 33%.
He's half loaded down the.
Then it starts
The
going
virus
backwards. You're like, what is
crashes.
happening?
It's like 4 hours remaining. That's right. 3 hours, 59 minutes remaining. 8 hours, 47 minutes remaining.
What?
Because that used to happen all the time.
Yes.
Still happens.
Literally used to happen.
It took me a year to download a song in 1997. What's happening?
You're still
93
waiting
here?
for
That's
the
what I'm
ones
saying.
from high school.
What were you using? Napster?
Yeah, or LimeWire or Kazaa.
I was gonna say Kazaa was where it was at.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so Mom just spends the entire end sequence literally just running around, like no joke, just all over the place. She doesn't accomplish anything. She just runs from here to there to here to there, and it's just her running.
Well, she did.
She shoots
shoot
a bunch
him.
of
Well, I was
stuff.
gonna say. So now he
Again,
manifests.
she accomplishes nothing.
I'm gonna shoot.
This was the best part. He manifests. So Brahm, the computer guy, is like, well, I'm gonna go grab this 38 snub nose, and
Because he has that.
Take
Right.
him out.
so I'll just shoot him now with this. He's a
Shoot in the face. They should have
Yeah.
just thought of that in the first half of the movie.
Hey, you know that plan we had with the magnet? I got a better idea.
idea.
Well, now that he's here, why don't we just shoot?
I'm gonna shoot. To be fair, I did
right.
get a chuckle out of when Carl finally manifests and he's like, "Sorry, caught a bitch of a virus."
Yeah.
I got a chuckle out of that.
He was saying some weird stuff. As she's just running around, he says,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wrote this one, I want to feel your ribs crack while I suck the breath from your lungs.
Yeah,
Chill out, Carl.
Carl was real hot and bothered at this point.
Jeez.
These
He
are,
found that sex program.
That must have been it.
these are the notes I used to write my wife in study hall.
I would have opened your
Girlfriend at
breast
the time.
shields.
That's it. That's right. Okay, but so as we're running around, he can touch Carl, the dust particle monster, can touch physical things and open cabinets, and he like starts to choke the life out of Mom. How is he able to physically interact with the world? We don't know. Whatever.
And then he's trying to put like his snakes through
Her face.
Josh's face.
Well, before that, he's
Yeah.
choking the life out of Mom. And Josh comes in with like the flying elbow drop.
How come anytime somebody accidentally swats him, he just bloof into nothingness and then he has to re-render and it takes another 14 seconds? That seems to me like I could probably punch at this thing once every 14 seconds and probably never get really winded too bad and render him useless until we figure out this particle accelerator problem.
Just literally take a broom and spiral it.
Oh, there you go.
Tink,
Ooh, yeah.
tink,
Yeah.
tink.
Let me know when it's done.
Turn on a ceiling fan.
Hey, Brom, how's it going over there? Tink.
But they do. They run around some more. Now he's got Josh and her, or Josh and their first Josh, and he's like snaking the stuff into his eyeball holes.
Yeah.
And this is when Mom gets her Ripley from Aliens moment, right?
Sure.
Get your effing hands off of my son.
That was
Yeah.
totally not her character from the rest of the whole thing.
No,
You don't poke Mama Bear.
no.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Shoots the thing. Shoot. What?
Her Ripley moment, her Sarah Connor moment. Because
Right.
that was another part where I was like, oh, here's like the Sarah Connor like shooting the T2
With the
at
shotgun.
the end with the shotgun.
It kind of was like T2
It
in
was.
that it would blow a hole in it and then it would come back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Except just, again,
way
lame and
worse.
not cool.
way worse.
way worse.
way worse than T2.
But why shoot him? Like, it does nothing.
I mean, that.
Takes time.
I think this third time I shoot him, this is going to work.
Well, why did they ever shoot him in T? Why did Schwarzenegger ever shoot Robert
Well,
Patrick in T2?
To slow him down to get away.
Well,
but this time they weren't even trying to get away. She's literally trying to like stand her ground and murder this. And finally she gets it on the last bullet. She's like, wait, turns over to the
Glass.
window.
Oh, because Brahm.
Because this piece
Brahm
of
has
glass
fallen.
That's right.
stops magnets.
Yeah.
And so she shoots the glass to let the magnetism in.
Right, exactly.
but the magnet's not working.
Still not on, Brom. We're running out of plays up here, guys.
Hold on, I got to turn it off and back on again.
Did
you try to power cycle it?
Oh, it's not plugged in. Hold on.
That's what she could have done. That was her thing she could have done. Instead of running around, she could have been on the phone with tech support the whole time.
They said turn it off and turn it back on.
You could have had a guy in an office going, have you powered off your PC, man?
Have you unplugged it directly from the modem?
That's right. What a missed opportunity.
I know.
We'll put it in our remake.
All right.
Yeah.
We got a lot of remakes to do.
So finally, he is able to turn it on, and the magnetism begins to
Suck.
extract or suck, this monster back in. And the reaction shot
Oh my God.
of Karen Allen, I swear to God, they didn't tell her they were rolling. If you go back and look, as he's being sucked away through the glass, it cuts to a shot of the two of them, and they both look like they're just waiting in between takes, like they're not even looking the right direction.
It's like the guy is standing at 3 o'clock, right? It's like, this is where we're going to render him, right over here, guys. All right, cool. This is the spot. They're looking at like 11:30.
Right. They're like,
you know what I mean? They're
should we get lunch
90
after this?
degrees off the wrong place, just staring off over here. There was actually like a ball game in the national anthem. They're staring at the flag. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's like this guy just poof.
And at the last second, you could see her almost like somebody who's like, Karen, we're rolling. She's like, what? And she like kind of starts to look the right, like, wait, we're doing something?
It's over this
It's
way.
over this way. It was terrible. Worst shot in the movie.
Yeah.
But he gets sucked into the particle accelerator and he's destroyed.
He gets exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, that's not it because we get one shot of Bram in the ambulance. He's hooked up to a heart monitor.
Yep.
And he says, do me a favor. Turn off that damn machine.
Yeah, it's all machines now.
Credits.
Movie.
Credits.
Finn.
Really no conclusion.
No. Do we go back and see if Grandma's okay? Do we have
No.
nothing?
Or maybe our Bram and Mom.
I'll tie up that.
Bram and Mom, are they?
How did the crime scene unit clean up that damn microwave kitchen?
Yeah.
You know, I would
Yeah,
assume it's
yeah.
still going. Why would it have stopped?
Yeah.
Why would the microwave is still
Going. Like there's a house in Cleveland that you just can't go into.
And
the neighbors are cooking food on a stick through the window.
Yeah.
did Josh ever
what's happening.
pull his pants up?
Never.
Well, he probably did because we all did.
I mean, it would have been like a cutaway where like Bram comes over and now he's like all, maybe clean cut.
Or just fresh out of prison.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we have to do what we do, which is give some awards away to Ghost in the Machine from 1993. The first awards this movie will ever get. Probably the last. We'll see. We always start with the Will Patton Award for Intensity. This is somebody that took their role very seriously, even though they were in a ridiculous movie. They tackled it with the seriousness of a car accident, a.k.a. like Will Patton. So, who do you guys have as your Will Patton Award winner?
The kid,
Which kid?
Josh.
What?
Because his job was to play a douche and he did it intensely the whole way. Full douche.
He was like my runner-up.
Was he your runner-up?
Yeah.
That's fair.
This dude is full douche the whole way.
I guess he did go.
I had
did
Ted
go full
Marco, who was Carl,
The
because he was intense.
the killer.
Yeah.
The way he sniffed that address book, I
And
believe
like
him.
sucked on his fingers when he was watching the kid, and he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about the
"That's
finger sucking.
creepy."
He did.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
And the pixie stick at the beginning, too. The
He
way he
slammed
like,
that.
the way
I
he
believed
just-
everything he
He's
did.
eaten a pixie stick before.
That's fair.
That's exactly how I flick my pixie stick.
Fair. And how he waved at
It's the
the
only
house.
thing that gives him courage to go
was
on with
weird.
it, right?
When-
Hey guys.
after he kills the family and he waves at the house while he gets back into his CUDA.
Who do you have as your Will Patton Award winner, Farrell?
I'm going with Richard Sheaf.
Richard Sheaf.
I'm going with Richard Sheaf. MRI tech number 1.
That guy, he's one of those guys that are in. He's in a bunch of movies. I remember seeing him there.
I'll say this. There's a reason that he eventually won an Emmy.
For
He won an Emmy for The West Wing because
that's right.
Yeah, he
That's
was
right.
a huge supporting character in The West Wing.
right,
But
yeah, no, he's good.
as the MRI tech, as the ghost is going into the machine,
Yeah.
and he's just like, oh God, like sold it.
I'm gonna actually change my vote so that we'll have a winner here because otherwise it'd been a 4-way tie.
Oh boy.
But I think you're right. I'm gonna go with Carl. I'm gonna go with the killer. I think that's not a bad.
I would have swapped mine to break
Yeah.
that 4-way tie as well. But
Yeah.
my honorable mention would legitimately be the boss that Bram came into.
Well, that's who I was gonna say was Rick
He was
Dukeman.
good.
Yeah, Rick Dukeman.
Yeah.
For sure.
He was he played the part well, and I thought he was really good. But all right, but ultimately the Will Patton Award winner will go. What was his name?
Ted.
Carl.
The guy with no picture
who played
on
Carl?
IMDb?
Carl Marco.
Ted
Marco.
Ted Marco.
Marco.
Good job,
I
Ted.
did my research.
The next up is the Michael Dudikoff Trash Can Full of Dirt Award, which is the award we give to the worst actor in the movie. The one who displayed a range no better than that of a trash can full of dirt.
Do you think everyone's going to agree on this one?
Maybe we'll see. If it's a 4-way tie, we'll have to come to some kind of consensus. But
I think
we'll
you
see
and
how it
I
goes.
agree.
Possibly.
Yeah. I don't
Let's
know.
see. Do you want to start us off?
Karen Allen.
Karen Allen
Wow.
is who I have as well.
I was going to say mom. Yeah, absolutely mom.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Who did you have, Ryan?
no peer pressure. You can have a different vote, but
No, I had the whole cast.
So Karen Allen is in that. So, that is
by
over
counts.
3 votes. Got it.
I love Karen Allen. I don't, and it's not always the actor's fault. Sometimes it is. At least they bear their part of it. But she did some really bad work here. There were times where I wasn't sure she was awake, knew what was happening in the scene. A lot of no-selling, non-reactions from Karen Allen.
Yeah, I was going to say, you said she did some terrible work. I mean, did she work?
No, I don't think so.
It was-
And there was one take, I wish I remembered the line, where they were sitting at the table when he showed up at her house with all those records. And she was like, well, big surprise, mister. And she was like doing these really weird hand motions.
Mom's not perfect.
And I'm like, what is she doing? You're better than this.
Yeah.
I didn't know if she was trying to be like, oh, I'm this exhausted mom. But
Yeah.
then I was kind of like, nah,
It's
I
bad.
don't think so.
Karen Allen was, I mean, I would jump on that bandwagon because, yeah, she was very not good.
No, it was rough. We love you, Karen, but you're the Michael Dudikoff Trash Can Full of Dirt Award winner for this movie. All right, next is our top 3 performers. This is our subjective opinion, not who was the best, but who we enjoyed the most as performers in this movie. Clint, who you got?
Babysitter's Club.
Okay, Carol.
I'm definitely going with Carol. My other one here, the boss at the computer store,
Rick Dukeman.
Rick Dukeman.
Or the computer store
The
was
computer store.
the villain of the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
He was great. We didn't discuss the scene where he comes in and afterwards. Oh,
Yeah,
did you hear
well,
about the serial
for
killer?
time, yeah.
For time, yeah. But like that scene there, I loved it because he's like, oh, that wasn't. Yeah, let's just gloss
That
over
scene was
which
ridiculous.
locker is his.
Yeah, there's like 18 cops dusting for prints behind him. He's like, what are you talking about? Serial
Yeah,
killer worked here?
No,
Never heard of
not
him.
us. And then
Oh, you mean the address book killer? Yeah, he worked here.
the boss that Brom went to.
Yeah, that's Rick Dukeman.
That's
yeah.
Rick Dukeman.
Yeah.
The other one.
The
So
other
that
guy.
was my number one.
Those guys were all good.
Yep.
Those are good picks.
I had Chris Mulkey.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
number 3.
Bram.
Brom.
Yep. And then Jack Lawfer, who was Elliot.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed his performance.
He wasn't bad.
Yeah, he knew his part. He was a doofus.
Yeah.
And then I guess I'm gonna go with Carol, the babysitter,
All right.
as top.
That's
yeah.
number 1.
Yeah, that was in order from 3 to 1.
Number 1. All right. Who you got, Farrell?
Oh, boy. I don't know. I'm going to say number 3 will go with Richard Schiff.
Okay.
Because he's my guy.
Yep.
Number 2 will be Carol.
You both 3. You have Carol in the top 3. I love it.
Carol, I mean, legit.
She
though.
acted like a hot
She
teenage
did-
babysitter type.
Once again,
Perfect.
she did what she was supposed to do, and
Yeah,
she
she
did
showed up.
it.
She played her part.
I'm not
Yeah.
ripping on her.
Yeah.
I love it. Go ahead.
Yeah, and probably Ted Marco number 1.
Ted Marco number 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I had Brandon Adams actually at number 3, which was
Okay.
his friend.
Kenny DeNunez.
Oh yeah,
I
he
thought
did good.
Kenny was much more believable as a 13-year-old, even though the other guy was literally a 13-year-old. And then I had Chris Mulkey at Bram at number 2. And then the number 1 guy I had was the guy from the car crash that walked up and was like, what's going on here? I loved that guy.
Crash test dummy car crash guy. That's what we'll call him.
That was my guy. That was my
Good
guy.
for him.
Uncredited.
So where are we going to land on this, guys? Ultimately, we have to decide for ourselves. Each of us can decide on our own. We don't need to have a consensus here, but is this objectively a good or bad movie as a film? And then subjectively, did you enjoy it or not? So is it a good movie, full stop? Is it a bad movie that rules, meaning it was bad, but I enjoyed it? Or is it just a bad movie with no redeeming qualities? What do you guys think?
Bad movie rules.
Bad movie that rules for
Yeah,
Clint.
absolutely.
All right.
You didn't pull out your Rolodex.
I didn't this time. because
That's impressive.
well, it's an electronic one, and I was scared.
He's afraid.
That's fair.
He used the Paper Warrior to put it together. And now
The desktop software. I would say this is definitely a terrible movie that rules. So bad movie that rules.
All right.
It's worse than bad. He's on
So
the
you
14
enjoyed
man scale.
Yeah, it falls in your scale.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it a lot because it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Even though I was pulling my hair out, going like, "That's not how any of this works." It was fun. It was
it's like the old lady from the commercial.
That's not how this works. I unfriend you.
All right, Ryan, who you got?
I mean, I really admired the movie as how it took on the philosophy of, Rene Descartes and Ghost in the Machine and the duality, the mind-body duality thing.
Yeah.
It really did it for me.
It's really a deep cut. Wow. We're in the weeds on Ghost.
Wow.
No, God,
I've never respected you any less.
Get out.
God, this movie was so bad. This movie was so bad, but I did really enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, bad movie, there rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just so bad, but the kill scenes were just
Worth it.
worth
Kill
it.
scenes were awesome in this.
Yeah.
Is it? I'll say this: it's not the worst Rachel Talalay movie we've reviewed.
Okay.
So
on
you
this
think it was
podcast.
better than Tank Girl?
I think it's better than Tank Girl. I'm going to say that this is a bad movie that rules because it's, for all the reasons that have already been stated that we don't need to go over again, it's perfectly ridiculous and bad. But there's some well done things that I don't want to just crap on.
Right.
The kills, the shots, some of the misdirections and the payoffs and stuff were good. It was just wrapped up in a crappy. Like the sum of its parts were greater than the whole, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for 93, the shots were clean. I mean, it's good, clear.
It's good stuff.
The guy that was Phil Mayhew was the cinematographer, and he's an actual like he shot Casino Royale and a bunch of James Bond movies.
Yeah, and I appreciate that they took a big swing too and took on subject matter that at the time would have been hard to do and visualize and all of that stuff. And
it's glorious for us to sit back with another couple decades of experience and looking at the world and say that's not how that works.
Right.
They were inventing it how it was going to work.
Yeah, objectively,
Sort of.
nobody understood how any of this worked at the time.
Or very few people. I'm sure there
very
were.
few people. There was like one guy who
The
didn't go to
alien.
movie theaters.
they had the advisor on and he just sat in the chair in the back and they never asked him any questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
he
like
spoke in words that nobody understood.
yeah.
Just go sit by the craft services. Okay?
That was what I think the whole point of what the screenwriters were doing was just trying to capitalize on some paranoia that maybe was prevalent in the early 90s.
Yeah, well, she even speaks to the Big Brother thing at one point. Right?
Yeah, that it's like, this new technology that's coming around. And
Yeah.
so it's like, of course, let's make a horror movie about why maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, we think you're making
But-
it easy on us, but then
Yeah.
you got a whole list on everything we've ever done.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
So-
was pretty close. I mean,
It's true.
they
that's
actually
true.
got pretty close on that part of it.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
So props to it for that. But I think there is a way you could have made this movie better.
How could you do that?
You can't kill anybody with a computer.
No.
Sorry, I'm really bad at that accent.
I don't think Arnold would have been good as Bram's character. Could you imagine him as like the super smart IT guy?
No.
That's the only way.
The guy who walks up at the end after the car accident.
What do we have here? This is fantastic. No, I think if Arnold, the only thing he could have done is played the address book killer. Because again, it was already a Terminator ripoff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this guy was basically the T-1000. Just have Arnold be the guy that's in the machine.
Yeah.
I would have had him be Elliot. I mean, you're all fired.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have had him,
And
I
then
would
he's
have had him
on
be
fire.
Brom.
Brom?
I
don't buy Arnold as a smart IT guy.
Babysitter.
Do you buy him as a pregnant woman in June?
$37.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay. All right.
Here you go.
I really, when he talked about how much his nipples were chafing, I really believed it.
Do you buy him as a kindergarten teacher?
Oh yeah,
Dude, come on.
Don't you dare!
That
Don't
was
you
fantastic.
dare! He had a whistle and a ferret, and those kids loved him.
Who is my
It's not a
daddy?
tumor.
And what does he do?
That's right. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions and want to have them answered immediately. Okay. All right.
So good.
It is so good, and maybe this one wasn't so good, but it was good enough, right? It was good enough.
It is straight up worth a watch.
Would you tell? I was just say, would you tell people to watch it?
If
Absolutely.
Anyone out there that wants to watch a movie that legit checks the boxes of a bad movie that rules, it's like this. Sit down with your friends. I mean, I thought after
You could watch this without a friend, but friends for sure.
I thought after the fact, I was like, gosh, I really should have been drinking while I was watching this.
All right, now of our 2 Cleveland-based movies that we've done, Howard the Duck and Ghost in the
this
Machine.
one, for
This
sure.
one.
Way better.
Over Howard. Have you seen Howard the Duck?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I honestly would rather watch Ghost in the Machine.
All of you would pick
I do
Ghost
not
in the
I
need
would
to
rather
see
watch
Everybody
Ghost in the
in the
Machine
world
again than
would
watch
pick
Howard
that.
the Duck.
Even the
Yes.
people who love Howard the Duck the most would rather watch this.
That's Kurt Mummer, and I don't
Right.
know if that's true.
I do not need to see duck titties again.
Yeah.
Once was enough.
Yeah.
All right, but Leah Thompson and him kind of insinuating they're going to do it. That was a great scene.
For me,
I feel like I was like crawling up the wall in that scene. It's just like
for most people, that's how most people feel about
The
it.
principal from Ferris Bueller turning into a crazy.
that I liked. I
Monster?
did like him in that.
Yeah,
That's a different episode though.
it is. All right. I'm going to pick Howard the Duck over Ghost in the Machine.
It's okay.
You're
Even
just
though-
being obtuse.
You're allowed to have your opinion and be wrong.
I am.
Yeah.
And maybe I am, but somebody's got to, wave the flag for Howard here. Y'all just picked. You didn't even hesitate, not for a second.
That's
No.
because there's no question.
There wasn't.
All right. Well, look, thank you guys for listening. I apologize for all the Howard the Duck hate that just went on here, but if you get a chance,
It's not hate.
It's just disdain.
It's just
Not as good.
okay, that's fair. Nothing will ever be as good as having listeners and fans like yourselves. So thank you guys for listening. Remember, before you go, stick Q-tips in your outlets to keep the electricity devil out of your house. Okay? Tips, life hacks from BMR here for you.
Q-tips.
Yeah, Q-tips. One of them was
You
Q-tip.
said tips.
You
no.
said tips.
So I was saying they're Q-tips.
Tips from BMR.
Those are the tips.
Q-tips.
Oh, those are the Q-tips from BMR.
Yeah.
See? Two things.
It all comes
Same.
together.
I tell you what, this is a super professional show here.
Right. That's how you know we didn't write this in advance. We don't get our jokes.